but mostly prepared, so that's good. Want to send out a tweet, those type of usual things, and then we will get going. So, hi Daggett, thank you for joining me. And Megabutts, hello. Or should I call you by your Discord name? There is the tweet. I think I'll close that so it's not making noise. And okay, so I'm not completely organized because what kind of a world would that even be? Simply neat. It's right side up for me, Daggett. It also, I forget if I was just thinking about talking about this or if I included it in the tutorial. There are some like raised circles at the back half of it that if I had it turned around, it would not be a nice, neat work surface. Frankamoose, hello. Thank you for joining us. So I've got like all kinds of exciting things planned today. Well, hopefully exciting. I want to play around a little bit more with the OPI color paints and do some kind of a marble with them, but I decided that I wanted to do something other than the petal design because the other marble that I did with them used the petal design. So I wanted to do something a little bit different this time around. So I'm just getting a couple test strips folded up here. And then I think I'll prep at least one of them with a little bit of silver to determine if I want to go with silver or with white as my base color. These do show up really nicely over white, but they're kind of intended to go over the silver. It does give a really cool metallic look, so I don't want to just rule that out. And I think 4 should be enough. And we'll do just maybe one with a little bit of silver. If anybody, I see a lot of familiar faces here, but if you are not already in the Discord and you're interested to join, you can do exclamation Discord and a link should pop up. Clever username not found. Thank you. Yes, it is fancy and it is very new, and I'm still kind of like a couple of my friends kept saying, "Oh, you'll make affiliate no problem," and I was like, I don't know, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, or any kind of saying like that, but it did happen. I'm very excited. Yeah, it's really cool. If anybody has any bits they want to throw at me, I would certainly be appreciative. And yeah, so let's see here. Sometimes it's kind of funny because I feel so much more comfortable streaming than I first did in my first stream, but that's not to say I'm not nervous, and that's not to say I don't have like room to grow still, because like keeping up with chat and stuff, I feel like I still have a lot to keep up with. Sanasima, I think I'm saying that right. Thank you for joining us from Germany. So Megabutts and anybody else that's come with me from YouTube and isn't familiar with Twitch, on Twitch, following is more like subscribing on YouTube, where you can get notifications of when I'm live and that sort of thing. You can, it's free. Subscribing on Twitch actually does cost money. Some of the money goes to me, some of the money goes to Twitch, and you do get a few small sub benefits. A subscriber badge, which right now would just be like a little purple star, but affiliates actually are getting custom sub badges soon, and custom emotes. Technically, I have 3 emote slots for the 3 different tiers of subscriptions, but I've only submitted 1 emote yet, and I'm sad to say that it has not been approved yet, but there will be an emote of Mr. Bean, who I thought was going to join us, but apparently changed his mind since his chair is empty. But Beanie's going to be my first emote. It's kind of my own fault that it hasn't been approved yet, because I just couldn't decide what picture to use, and I didn't get it submitted very early in the week. So yeah, subscribing is basically just a way to show your support for a streamer beyond following or beyond just watching. Completely optional, never required. I can't really see myself. I know a lot of streamers have a lot of sub exclusive stuff, exclusive Discord for subs or other perks, and I don't want to limit my content to those that can afford to subscribe. I know I haven't really been able to afford to subscribe to even a lot of my favorite channels, but in a lot of cases I've been lucky enough to gift subscriptions, which is also a thing. And yeah, so hopefully that kind of explains it. There's also a link down in my Twitch profile that I think I included a link there that explains a little bit more about subscribing. If I didn't, I really should, because I know a lot of my viewers are following me from YouTube and don't know a lot about Twitch yet. But I don't consider myself an expert, but I'm certainly always willing to at least try and answer questions. Fluff Fox, hello. Thank you for joining us. So it is once a month. You don't have to continue to subscribe. If you do, one subscription is 1 month, and then you can either resubscribe the following month or not. And I mean, that's completely up to whoever is subscribing. I'll admit I'm not super familiar with it because I have never actually purchased a sub myself. I do a lot of cheering in certain channels, but I get all the bits I use for cheering from ads. And I also included a little link in case anybody's unfamiliar with that. For me, I consider it a really great way to support streamers without having to spend money myself. So that is definitely an option for some of you. It's not available in all countries, unfortunately. Yes, thank you. Luke, did I even say hello to you? Hello, Luke. Not just helping with viewer count, you're explaining all kinds of stuff. If you have Amazon Prime, you can basically link your Amazon and your Twitch accounts and get Twitch Prime, and Twitch Prime comes with a free subscription every month. Oh, thank you, Megabutts. Yeah, I know I did include a link for that, like I said, down on my profile. It's my understanding it's pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, and Twitch has a fairly decent help center also. I mean, as a new streamer, I've had a lot of questions, and I found myself, just Googling the question, and a couple times it'll be like a Reddit thread or something like that that comes up, but a lot of the times the most helpful article is actually from Twitch's own help center, which I appreciate. I always hate websites that have a janky help center. Luke, thank you. Oh my god. I feel like I must be blushing because all my streaming expectations I have tried to set extremely low, and I thought don't go counting your subscriptions before they're subscribed. Yeah, and you get a little thing pop up in chat, you get a little thing pop up with fancy sounds, and Luke, I will have an adorable cat emote for you as soon as Twitch approves it. I can't imagine why they would possibly not approve Mr. Bean. And thank you so much. I don't know what else to say. Oh. Good morning, Starlore. Thank you for joining us. Dana Marie. Oh, thank you. If you feel like lurking, that's also perfectly fine. I know a lot of people maybe aren't able to chat for whatever reason. Maybe you're at work or just don't have anything to say or just like hanging out. That's perfectly fine. But thank you so much. Ninja. Yeah, Ninja, if you just got here, you literally just missed it. Luke is my very first sub, and I am just tickled pink. Yeah, Porch Fam is out in full support. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay. I like tried to like mentally like, you know, visualize to prepare myself, but I find myself slightly more flustered than expected. I wanted to do a couple more experiments, and then I wanted to Dang it! Oh wait, no, it's Luke! I have to look now. See, okay, see it shows. See, this is what kind of a noob streamer I am. The notification that pops up shows who it was gifted to, and I have to like look in my Streamlabs thing or in the actual chat notification to see that. Oh my God, Luke! Luke is like my guardian angel sub-gifter. I don't know if that even makes any sense. Yeah, it's a sub-train. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, Luke! Oh, Luke! Luke! Like... Okay. Try not to act a complete damn fool here. Wait, was that Bits? That was really loud. Oh, yeah! Ninja with the gold badge. Wait, Star-Lord with the... Okay. You guys. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Like... Thank you all. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Star-Lord. Thank you, Ninja. Thank you, everybody else, even just watching, for putting up with me while I, like, spaz out over, like, all this stuff. Thank you. Okay. Okay. See, and this is the other reason, like, the optimistic side of me said, oh, of course you'll be getting subs, and of course you'll be getting bits, and of course things will be going on, and so this idea to attempt and record a tutorial while I'm live... Wait, whoa! Star-Lord! Thank you! 1,000 bits! Oh my freaking God, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, like, my train of thought is, like, gone trying to catch up to the sub train and the bit train. Yeah, you won't be getting your gold badge back, Ninja, unless the ads are really kind to you. Oh my God. So maybe it may not have been the brightest of ideas to attempt and record a tutorial while I'm streaming, but we'll see. Hopefully by the time we get to that point, I'll have slightly collected myself. Oh my goodness. You guys are awesome. I have such awesome people. I don't know what else other to say. Okay, so I'm like completely sidetracked and baffled, but I know that I was talking something about water marbles. Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Star-Lord. I don't even know what to say other than thank you, and I appreciate it so much. You probably could tell I'm, like, spazzing completely out. The emote is going to be a beanie face, Ninja. In fact, maybe I can give you guys a preview. Do I still have this folder open? Let's collect ourselves. And, okay, so I should be able to... Wait, why is this not... Okay. So I should be able to put this window capture to, crap. I feel like I could easily use a third monitor while I'm streaming. It is so... Is it this one? No, not that one. This one. Okay. Now, I think there's probably a way to, like, crop this closer, but I don't know how. Because I think if I just do that, yeah, that'll just make it smaller or bigger. That is the, bean emote that my subscribers will be getting as soon as Twitch approves it. So, that is what you guys have to look forward to. A very handsome bean. You guys completely made me blush. Is it hot in Indiana too? I shouldn't be surprised. It's very hot here. It's, I don't know what it is outside today, but I think it's forecast to be 96, which, no good for me, and really high humidity. Yeah, I should have submitted it earlier in the week. It was on my mind, and I started going through Beanie Pictures looking for one that was, like, suitable for an emote, and I couldn't really find one, and then I was trying to, like, take a new picture, and he was being completely uncooperative. I finally got a decent one and edited it, but, it can take some time, like a few days, for Twitch to approve it, so I don't know how long exactly. Lily 2001, or is that Lily Lee? Lily Lee. That it's just gonna have to be Lily, because I don't know if my tongue can handle more syllables. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. 77. That sounds almost perfect, Daggett. SSD, you are going to do wonderfully. You are going to ace your test. We're all going to... Everybody... SSD Ninja is a medical student. So I want you guys to all send him super positive, awesome test-taking vibes. We want him to ace his exam. And, yeah, we don't want him to, like, barely pass, because then he's gonna be a doctor that doesn't know shit. We want him to pass with flying colors. And you're always worried, Ninja. And so it usually is going okay. I'm just getting the polishes open, by the way, you guys. The 8 color paints polishes, so that we can actually get to the testing that I intended to get to. Yeah. You got to become a doctor so you can get back that golden badge, Ninja. Okay. So, in our last stream... Oh, wait. Need a polish remover and a napkin here. In our last stream, we played around with these exact colors, and we had some pretty nice results. But then I remembered or realized that it was pretty much the same pattern I had used the first time I used these colors. And, just stock bits. Yeah, pay your loan with Twitch bits. I realized I had already done, like, a petal pattern with these before. So these are some of what we had last week. And I'm going to use the same drop combination as far as we figured out. It goes pretty well with about 12 drops. And I'm going to be trying some different patterns, some different designs. And I think we could probably zoom out a little bit here. Whoa! I didn't want to zoom out that far, camera. The hell? See, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say I do not understand what is going on with this camera. It went from being zoomed in max to being zoomed in... Why are you pretending that I only have 2 zoom settings? Oh my god, I hate this camera. No, I don't hate it, but it frustrates me. Like, why? Okay, so what if I save that? What if I... reopen. Bear with me just a second, you guys, because I know that this camera can get closer than this. I know it can, because it was last week. I just do not believe this freaking camera. Well, apparently this is as close as it's going to... Well, wait, let me try this. Let's try doing that and doing that. Well, now that's better. See? Okay, now look. We could do all these things now, and all I did was click on buttons a couple times. I don't know what I did. Freaking computers, dude. I swear to God. Okay. Okay. Chat that I missed. A gold stethoscope. Oh, you're in nursing school, Fluff. Man. Oh my God, Ninja. Oh my God. That just like gave me a little heart palpitation. I swear to God. That's so much money. I hope it's worth it. I was gonna like guarantee it was gonna be worth it, like I know shit about being a doctor, but I hope it's worth it. Okay, I can't laugh that hard. I shake the desk, which shakes the lamp, which shakes both the cameras. Yeah, so to accomplish streaming and recording a tutorial, rather than figuring out a way for this camera to let me stream and record at the same time, which seems like it should be possible, but I'm not positive is possible, I have in front of me here the webcam and my regular camera, both attached to the ring light. Wait, you have a previous master's? Like a non-medical master's? You're just gonna end up going back to school. You're gonna get your doctorate and be like, you know, I think I'd like some other degree. You complain about studying, but really you must love it. A journalism master's. Well, no wonder you write such nice articles. Okay, let's do some marbling here. We've got all these open, and whoa, oh no. Let's try not to cause a disaster right off the bat. Actually, I think I want to scooch these over here. I always got to keep in mind, like, not only what is easiest to reach, but like what is not going to cover up the camera so you guys can still see what I'm doing. Yeah, hopefully the setup will work when we get to the tutorial, but we'll see. If I keep screwing around like this, we're going to have a long stream before we even get close to a tutorial. Splatoon with nail polish. I probably have enough to outfit like several teams with nail polish paintballs. Okay, so what did we decide here? We decided we liked pink in the middle, so we want to end with pink. So we want to start with orange. Super smart Dr. Ninja. Yeah. Also stands for super sweet dude ninja, because he is a super sweet dude. Okay, so starting with orange, we're going to go through 4, then we're going to go through the whole rainbow, and then we'll do something. Make sure this is okay. Alright, and I won't be able to look at chat much while I'm doing this, because you guys see how easily I'm distracted. And we want this to be nice and wet when we get to drawing the pattern. So I'm just going to try and build the bullseye as quickly as we can. And I decided to go with this because the one that we did with the purple in the middle, and you know, this actually is not... Oh my god, did I put those in the wrong order? I did. Snoop. Alright, we can fix it. The outer rings aren't going to matter a ton anyway, because those are the ones that are going to be closest to the edge of the cup. Probably not actually going to be dipping your nail in, and this bullseye is going really lopsided, but it should still be okay, since we're still just testing. Maybe I was just being a bully to throw people off of my nice tracks, Ninja. Did you ever think of that? Okay, so we've got kind of a wonky thing going on here. Basically, when you draw up and down or side to side, it kind of stretches things from like circles into kind of more stripes, although they're still obviously got some curve to them. And for this one, I'm going to do some kind of wide, not too wide, but once you see the next one that I do, which will be skinny, you'll see why I'm calling this wide. Chevrons, whoa, okay. Starting to dry at the edge. Just move in a little bit and continue. Sometimes edges also seem to dry a bit more if they don't spread all the way to the edge of the cup, but I wasn't too careful with that since this is still just practice. And for this one, we're going to go ahead and use our silver test strip, and let's go in like this. Woo. So this is how it looks over the silver, and I'll do one over the white side in a minute where you'll be able to kind of see the difference. Kind of just makes them a little bit shinier, a little bit more metallic, almost like a chrome type of a finish. You've been dying to ask me this. Okay, will you ever do a collab with Christine? I don't know. I mean, I would never rule it out, but I mean, she's in Canada and I'm not. I've never left the country, and I don't know that she's necessarily interested to come to Minneapolis, nor that my workspace is necessarily suitable to doing a collab. Like, I would barely have a place to offer her to sit. But, you know, I enjoyed talking to her when we were on the call that Ben initiated. That was really, that almost didn't happen at all. I'm really bad with my emails. I get, like, so, like, ridiculously behind, you know, like thousands and thousands of emails in my inbox. And I just happened to see this email entitled Water Marbling Help for a Boyfriend. And I opened it up and it's from Ben. And it was like, you know, he was reaching out because they were going to be recording the video the following weekend. And it was like, I so easily could have overlooked that email for weeks and then been like, oh, sorry. But it all worked out. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Bring back some poutine. You know, I don't think I've ever actually had poutine. They have it at the state fair, but it's like there's so many other state fair things that I always get that we just never have managed to give it a try yet. Time to get a passport. You know, I've thought about it so many times, and then it's just like one of those things, oh, I'll do that later. Of course, later never happens. You screamed. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird even for me. I mean, like, I'm a fan, so it's kind of like, wow. But, you know, people are always leaving comments like, oh, you should teach Christine to water marble, or you guys should do this, or you guys should do that. And I wonder if she gets the same comments on her side. I'm just gonna get another bullseye started here. Actually though, this might need, yeah, let's just clean this off first. But I mean, a lot of times collaborations do happen because the fans, requested them. You don't like it, huh, Daggett? What is it, just like too much altogether? Because like everything that's in it should be delicious. Because like what? French fries, cheese curds, and gravy. So there's also that. We may not be getting the actual Canadian poutine. Okay, so we've got a clean surface. Let's get this bullseye built again. And this time we're going to be going for really, really skinny chevrons. So skinny that they turn into stripes. And again, we're not getting a fully even spread here. Let's just pull this over a little bit. Like that. Alright. Purple. The indigo. The turquoise. Although really to me it's more of a teal. And then green. Yellow. Orange. Red. And finishing off with a pink. Whoa. Alright. So again for this one I'm going to go from one side to the other to kind of stretch everything out. But instead of having like a good amount of space in between the lines, I'm going to keep them quite skinny. Oh, you're still a little sticky. Quite skinny and almost draw like not straight across. Like start kind of up and then draw back toward the other line. If that kind of makes sense. Oh, this is very sticky at the edges. I've got to be really careful. And try to go fast. Speed running with the water marble as we talked about last week. And I'm not super pleased with how this one is turning out. I might want to do something kind of in between these, like not quite this skinny, not quite that fat. Actually, this side is turning out nicer than the other side. Sometimes stripes, actually getting them even and getting them looking like stripes can be very tricky, because you see we got a lot more pink coming through here and a lot less pink coming through on this side. Well, maybe there. Sometimes this ring light is a curse. Sometimes it's a blessing and it really helps. Other times it's like not so much. So let's dip this out here. Whew, that's bright. That's really bright. I like it. I like it even though it's not completely even. Oh boy. Food discussion. Food discussion has the chat moving really quick. I should actually make chat maybe a little bit bigger. That'll make it slightly easier. Fancy peppers. Oh, the Penzi spices. See, next time you're going to have to post it in Discord, Ninja. Hello, Vinay. Thank you for joining us. Curry shelf. Okay. So, we've got the metallic colors. We've got the colors just over white. I'm actually digging a more over white. Whoa. Really gotta be careful not to knock over this cup. That would be such a disaster. Well, hopefully not, since I am working on the Miracle Mat, but it wouldn't be very fun. Whoa. So, we'll get this shoebox lid to dry our water marble strip on. And hopefully Benny won't mind if he does join us that we're using his chair as a table. Okay, I want to try... Whoa. Just want to grab another paper towel here real quick. I want to try just a couple more designs. I'm actually not even sure which designs yet, in addition to the stripes. Right now I am leaning toward the stripes, but I also would like to give a burst a try. Spices. I love spices. I do not like spicy food. I have a very low like heat tolerance, but I love like a lot of spices and a lot of flavors in foods. So we're going to do that same bullseye again, because it seems to be the appropriate number of drops. They're still working fairly well for these designs, as well as the flower designs that we used it for last week. And a burst design is kind of like a pointed flower, but it comes out more stripy depending on the polishes that you use. Like if you draw inwards to create petals and then draw out, you tend to end up with pointy petals. Whereas if you draw outwards and then draw the petals inwards, you end up with kind of thinner petals. So hopefully these colors will play nice. And we're going to start out going again from the center, up, down, side, side, in between those. So we've got 8 outward strokes, and then we're going to go from the edge back in toward the middle for each of those, and trying to just keep the overall design centered and even. And I'm not sure if I really want this to work out or not, because if I really wanted to do this design the way I like it best, that's 10 cups of water marbling. Because you can only dip one nail at a time. So, there we have our bursty kind of flower. Oof, that's gorgeous. Excuse me. Your husband grows his own chilies. Wow. Habanero sounds hot as hell as it is, Ninja. Uncomfortably hot while eating. Caters, hello. I'm just trying to get caught up with chat here a little bit, and it's like I thought I was a fast reader till I'm having to like try and read fast as possible. Read fast. Did I just say read fast as possible? I think I did, but you guys know what I mean. Some hot sauces. I don't have a recipe, but when my mom grew peppers, I remember one time she just cooked them down and made a sauce just like you made tomato sauce. Like literally just stick them in a pot and just cook them until they're sauce. Starlord, it really can depend on the pattern. Like, if I can get the little stripy pattern in here again. Whoa. That can be pretty easy to dip 2 nails in, or like a wider chevron like this, compared to like this. If I really wanted to get the center of the flower, I'd want to get, just center, like dead center on my nail. But I don't know if I really do. See, like the polishes that really work best for a burst design are when these petals don't even look like petals anymore. They all just look like very skinny stripes coming out from a center point. And so for this, I might actually just go for like half of the design on each nail. You line up the 2 nails, just 1/2. Then you're kind of aiming the center of the flower, like right in between your nails. I'm gonna give that one more try, and see if I can get it to look like I want it to look, or otherwise I might just use that or the stripes. We'll see. Sunny and humid. Yes, exactly, Daggett. It's like sometimes I'll catch myself reading and then I won't even like read the username that it's attached to, and then I'll like realize like, hey, wait, I didn't even say hello to this person, and then I feel bad. And I don't even have like a crazy chat yet. I can only imagine like places where the chat is like really moving along, especially like speedrunners. Like, I mean, it's impossible to keep up, which would be frustrating, I think. Length plus color, so it's easy to mix up usernames. Yes. I have a really bad habit of not reading the whole name and just going by color. But then sometimes it's not even always the same. People that don't have a color set, and then every time they come in chat, it's like a different color. So you can't even like get used to a color. Or a couple people, it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like they have a different name in my my on-screen chat than in my chat window. Fluffox, are you the only one from Europe? Maybe. I've gotten, and people come and go, of course, too, but I think most people here are from the US or Canada. I think. See, and that's the other thing, in addition to reading names to see who's saying what, actually remembering who said what. Like, I thought my memory was good, just like I thought I could read fast, and I was wrong on both counts. If you don't pull the second lines all the way to the middle, you won't get as much as a burst pattern. Like if you pull them to just here, then they're not all going to meet in the center, which is part of what creates the burst. You know, I've heard of a couple of those, Daggett. I might have to look into them. Because I'm still already, like... Especially since, like, I take, like, kind of breaks from chat when I'm concentrating on doing the polish, and then it's like, oh crap, I'm behind on chat. Megabutts, if you click on the little gear icon that's in the chat box, or right below where you type your message, there's a part in there, I think it says edit appearance, and you can choose your color in there. Okay, so let's do one more bullseye for one more test, and then we're going to pick what we're going to be doing for the manicure. And these are still spreading out just a little bit lopsided. Not as bad as the first cup. And actually it's getting a little better as I go toward the center, so... That plays a part too in when you're doing the design. Whoa, almost missed the bottle there. Because if the center, your bullseye starts to drift off. Oh God. Okay, that's like obviously wrong. That's me being distracted. Okay. Well, I can use this to experiment and show you guys a couple other things. Let me just finish adding a couple more drops so we're working with the same number of drops, even though this is obviously not a rainbow order. God, that was a spaz move. I don't even remember what I was talking about now that had me so distracted to not do the right order. So, as far as not going all the way back to the center when you draw back in, let's do the outer strokes first. So when it's like this, it's kind of just a... can almost look like a spiderweb pattern, except the center is so big. So if when you started drawing back in toward the center, if you stopped like right here, you're not going to have the same sort of burst pattern. And also, of course, if it's possible to dip and kind of save it a little bit, but bringing them all to the center helps a little bit with little trailing ends or little goobers, and helps a little bit, ooh, it's drying, a little bit to keep it even. So this is perhaps not the best example, but an example. Oh, you're fine, Starlord. The one you have now is not bad, but, oops, got ice. You want to pick one that you like, too. I know I don't type in my own chat very often, but my username is, of course, purple. Starlord, it should be there for users that don't have Twitch Prime, but I think when you have Twitch Prime, you can pick your own specific exact color with hex code, and if you don't have Twitch Prime, then you can only select from like the couple dozen pre-selected colors. Yeah, so this is, I mean, it's not... Block a little bit of the glare here. Wait, who is hosting me? Vani is hosting me. Thank you. It's not exactly a burst, but it could definitely work depending on what you wanted. Like, you could definitely still go for the petals on either side of the cup. And Vani has followed. Thank you so much. But for right now, since it's not what I'm going for, I'm just going to clean it out of the cup. If you let it dry more than this, you could cut it into decals to stick on your nails if you're not comfortable dipping into the water. I've had a lot of requests for water marble decal tutorial, and I kind of haven't gotten around to it yet. I did do the one where I got the design out on a stamper head and then stamped it on my nails, so it's kind of similar to that, except that you need to let it dry in there. And for me, part of the reason that I don't want to do it is that I don't want to sit around and wait for it to long enough for it to dry enough to actually pull it out and have it maintain its shape and maintain its design. Oh, that's fine, Daggett. I mean, real life is important too. I mean, I frequently, that's why I lurk so often, is because I'm, back and forth from my desk, back and forth doing things. Maybe I'm watching, but I'm not right in front of my keyboard. So I certainly appreciate you stopping by, and if you have to disappear, that is perfectly fine. Megabutts, thank you. Yeah, it's like I said, there's a link in my profile, or if you just Google linking Amazon Prime and Twitch, I'm sure that it will come up. Okay, so let's see if we can get a proper order rainbow bullseye here, and see how this goes. Maybe I do need to actually say the colors out loud as I'm dripping them. So, get those first four. Then we've got the purple, the indigo, the turquoise/teal, the green, the yellow, the orange, the red, and the pink. So, trying to decide where exactly I want to make my adjustments here. We'll start out side to side. Now, part of the problem is this big amount of pink in the center, so I'm going to dip out some of this pink right now. You see how that made it a little bit narrower? Then I'm going to finish... Well, actually, no, now I'm going to do that again. You see how that's made it kind of almost a cross design and gotten rid of a lot of that excess color and some of the roundness, and finish drawing those outward. You can see it's getting slightly bald in the center, like slightly not enough polish, but as we go back toward the center, that will solve that problem, because you're bringing more polish back in. And each time I have two together, I'm going to give them a little tiny dip, and that will help center the design and help make sure there's not like a goober right there in the middle. Do this side, and I'm just using the very lightest possible touch on the surface. And yeah, this is already turning out a lot closer to what I wanted. Whoa, we're getting a little bit off center here. It's okay, it's salvageable. So, that is kind of closer to what I wanted, but it's also not as neat. Let me get this out of the cup here. So, you can see how the petals don't have quite as much pink in the center. Actually, let's zoom out a couple more. You can see them both at the same time. So this one has kind of chubbier, or this one has the skinnier petals, and this one has chubbier petals. So they're very similar, and those first couple are still a little bit wide. So the question is, do we want to do stripes, or do we want to do bursts, or do we want to do something else altogether here? Let's see. You're lazy. So many cat pictures. Yeah, we've got the animals channel. We've got all the important things. And welcome to Discord, Luke. I'll probably welcome you there also. I closed it while I was streaming because, like, I didn't want to keep having Discord pings pop up while I was streaming. You wonder if you should contribute to those cat pictures with your 3 cats? Yes. The answer when the question is about sharing cat pictures is always yes. The fluffy terrorists. The thicker petals? Yeah, you know, it's kind of hard to get this in here too and not spill the water. I really like the stripes, and I really like the thicker petals, and that would be easy to do. Both of these would be easy to do 2 fingers on. I think I'm gonna go for the stripes. And to deal with this kind of slightly thicker edge, I'm going to use that same technique that I used on the narrow petals of dipping out a little bit of that center color before I get to drawing in the stripes. And we'll see how that goes. Oh no. Oh no, it flipped over. Ha! Okay, so this is how nicely... This flipped completely over when it fell off the chair. But they're so wet that they stick onto it still. Other benefits of using the plastic lid to dry water marble strips. Because otherwise, the test strips would be ruined and there would be nail polish on my floor. Neither of which is ideal. And I think I want to close these up because it's going to be a while before I get back to marbling. You assume they were planning something terrible. Yeah, I wish Beanie would join us. It's like, hello, I made you your own emo and now you don't even want to hang out. Yes, Megabutts. I am going to do the same for every nail. Just to keep things consistent, and also just because... Like when we were testing last week, ending with the purple in the middle, the purple gets like way too dark. And the stripes design might alleviate a little bit of that, but using the pink as the color that I end with in the middle is a little bit safer, just as far as making sure all the colors are shown to their full, like, vibrant potential. And... oh, that's really empty. I thought that I had a handy OPI white. Hold on just 1 second. I'm gonna have to go over here. I'll be right back. I'm not satisfied with this fully, but I don't want to spend too much time looking. Like, this bottle of Alpine Snow is almost empty, which just means it's a little bit more of a hassle to use. And the thing is, I know I have another one somewhere. Oh, Daggett is headed out. Bye, Daggett, if you're still here. I know I've complained about it the last couple streams, and I have absolutely nobody to blame but myself. I have not made any progress on organizing my stash yet. And, a spark, you know? I wonder how sparkly white would go under here. I actually do. It would be, the one I would probably use. Is this one. And it doesn't look super sparkly. I would say it's more shimmery. I mean, it's not a glittery white, but compared to Alpine Snow, you can kind of see the shimmer. Decisions. It's a Orly. I have several shimmery Zoyas, of which I am uncertain of their location. Let's, gosh, I just closed these all up. Now I kind of want to do another test. A part of me is almost a little bit skeptical that this would even... No, you know what we should do? Okay, no. We're going to use this white. And I'm going to be right back again. I'm going to find something hollow to go on top. Okay. Let's look at... Okay. And here... Is that... Yeah. I think... Okay. Let's put this over here, and put these over here, and so we've got Be Bold, and Diamond, and other Diamond. Wait, is Be Bold actually plain hollow? I don't think it is. No, this is a blue hollow. Okay, this is not an option. I pulled this out on accident. It's holographic. It's not a hollow topper. No, that won't do. You're over hollow. How many nail polishes do I have? I have over 3,000 bottles of hollow. Or not of hollow, of polish. And a lot of them are hollow. We have Diamond and Diamond Flake. I'm not sold on this. I just wanna give it a chance. So let's which one of these do I want to try? I guess the striped one. It's pretty dry. Yeah, not 3,000 hollows, but yes, over 3,000 bottles of polish. And, oh, that's kind of a pretty chunky hollow. And of course, standard disclaimer, my ring light does not treat hollows kindly. All this silver glitteriness, it's hollow glitteriness. You would never know. And this one is a more linear hollow. No. You know, I'm not super feeling either one of those, actually. That's kind of unfortunate. I thought it might just add a little bit more pop, but it kind of, like the flake one is kind of chunky, and the more linear one seems to kind of just more cover up the vibrancy of the colors. I think I'm gonna skip the hollow. It was a thought. It was a passing thought. Don't look at indies, you'll go broke. This is true. Sakrista, I don't know if I said hello to you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, hollow on an already rainbow design is, in a way, overkill. But sometimes it's a wonderful, wonderful kind of overkill. So, got a little bit of polish here on my hands from the testing. What time is it? Oh, it's only 3. That's actually better than I thought. I'd kind of lost track of time there, especially at the beginning when Luke was giving away all the subs. I completely lost my mind for a minute. Okay, so I think before I get started here, a flaky topper. I have tons of flaky toppers. Color Club Sugar Plum Fairy. I think I have that one. If you use these over a hollow, do I still have... Let's, hold on 1 minute, I can show you guys. It's not exactly. So can we make that big, and can I do... Is this the window capture that is showing? This one. Okay. So, if I scroll this, so, God, I can't quite get this right where I want it. There. This window is like not quite. Here, how about if I... There. And even though I've zoomed in pretty close on this one, this was done over a slightly holographic base. You could definitely see the hollow through the purple in person, but really on camera, it was not very noticeable. So, it's an option. I've also... Was it these or something else that I marbled? Was it a marble? Now I don't even remember. This is what happens when you've been doing videos for like 9 years. There was something I did over a very, very chunky silver base, and it showed through, but it just made the whole design look very, like not smooth, like textural in a not positive sort of way. So, I think I'm going to stay away from that. I think I'm going to, like, once again, like I have to remind myself, keep it simple and not piss myself off. Like a really chunky silver glitter. I wish I could remember which one. Oh, you know, okay, I just did remember which one it was. You like glitter better. Glotter? I think you mean glitter. Clever username. I think... Okay, let me, bring this up again. It was a Christmas water marble. And it was this one. It was, when was this? This was just recently. I thought I had a picture of that. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. I'll just say that. And, if you want to check out that video, you can see, like, at the end of the video, you can see the glitter through the green and red, but it just looks, I've used this word before frequently too, curdled, which is not a cute look for your nails. So, we're going to want to get a little bit closer here, I think. And, doing glitter borders around your nail with it. But that's awesome. I can't remember the last time I did a bordered manicure, or if I did one, but I did one with just like stripes of glittery, or was it silver? Or maybe it was hollow. It was like a black nail with just thin stripes on the side. That was really cool. It was very minimalist. Yeah, I like that manicure. That was a vacation manicure, so I remember it well. So, Krista, if you go on my channel and just search purple flower, it should pop up. It was kind of a poinsettia design, but it wasn't the actual, not the original poinsettia manicure, and not actually the revisited poinsettia manicure. It was from just this past Christmas. And it was kind of poinsettia inspired, but poinsettias don't have silver in them. So, I'm gonna get, actually, okay. I'm trying to figure out how to best work recording the tutorial and paying attention to stream at the same time. And I think basically it's just going to be when I'm actually recording the tutorial, it'll just have to be like when I'm building the bullseye or something where I can't completely talk to chat. But really, as you'll see, the little sections that go into making the tutorial are not really that long. So hopefully it won't be a problem. But before we get started, I do want to just take a very, well, I wish I could say a very quick potty break, but it seems like a lot of streamers have their bathroom like right around the corner. My bathroom is around a couple corners, down a flight of stairs, and around some more corners. So I will be back in just a few minutes. I do not have a be back screen, but I will try to make this as quick as possible, and I will be back shortly. Alright, I have returned. Can't talk about polish and watch it and not want to do it yourself. That's understandable. It's like seeing other people's inspiration kind of inspires you. Lie down until the feeling goes away. What should you do? Any thoughts? Not water marble. Well, you could do a drag marble or a smooshy. Alright, so let's see here. Got everything ready. And one of the reasons I decided to give this a try, I'm gonna get out a little bit more polish remover here, is because my intent is always to do a bunch of practice on stream, and then once I finish up stream, it would make sense to go right ahead and do a tutorial. But usually by the time I finish streaming, I'm like, oh my god, let me just go like take a nap or something. And never end up... I'm pretty sure in the weeks that I've been streaming, I have never successfully recorded a tutorial Saturday evening after streaming. Then I end up doing the whole thing on Sunday, which I hate. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna put this dirty cup up here and get a fresh cup so that we have a beautiful cup for our video, beautifully nice and clean. And glitter gradients can be kind of tricky. I find, because to me, if you're doing them with polish, they're more difficult to blend than regular gradients, because the glitter like doesn't get absorbed by the sponge. So when you go to sponge it on your nail, it's kind of sitting on the surface, and everything there kind of just goes right on your nail as it is, and you don't have a lot of opportunity for making corrections or for blending it. And I'm just, by the way, cleaning my nails. Washed them while I was downstairs, obviously, and I'm just giving them a swipe with acetone, because that's my preference, to make sure they're super clean and dry before we get started. Smooshies, I love smooshies because basically you can't mess them up. They are guaranteed success. Usually, I mean, there are some weird things that can happen with smooshies, but I mean, the whole intent is a rather messy design, so you have a lot of wiggle room. Unlike water marbling, where you have like -50 wiggle room, because there's so many different things that can go wrong. With the smooshie, as long as you accept that the finished design is going to be somewhat random, then you can kind of trick yourself into liking whatever you come up with. Whereas with the water marble, you're usually going to have a real specific idea in mind, and if you don't meet that idea, then you're going to be really disappointed. Like different colors on each nail. That could be really cute, I think. Either different colors each way, or do them all across like a vertical gradient. I should do a gradient again. I haven't done one in quite a while. And I actually had one that I kind of did some testing on, and wanted to try doing some like sort of filigree freehand on top of, and I did a little bit of sketching for this kind of like heart-shaped filigree design I had in mind, and then I kind of wimped out and haven't done it yet. I've still got the colors kind of set aside together. It was like from pink to kind of a deep mauve, and then a glittery mauve for the filigree. I'm just nervous to get it all like looking the same on all my nails. Do smooshies look good with only 2 colors? I don't see any reason that they wouldn't, but I do usually use 3. I don't know why. I'm trying to think if I've done any with just 2 colors, and I don't think I have. But you can certainly give it a try. So, like I mentioned, when I'm recording, well, you'll probably be able to tell, because I'll be speaking in a slightly less casual tone of voice. But yeah, then the rest of this, when it's not a tutorial part, will be kind of more like nail polish and chill. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And hopefully, this all goes well. Maybe not. I mean, there's a lot that could go wrong, but we'll see how it goes. So, and if you missed it earlier, I was explaining, I have my ring light kind of right in front of me here, and then I bought this little extender to the hot shoe. It's like a 4-inch extender, and it allows me to hook up the, the webcam down here and my regular camera up here. So they're both kind of focused on the same thing. They have the same view. But we'll have to see. Maybe I'm kind of wondering if my editing skills are up to dubbing the stream audio over the camera audio, because the stream audio is very nicely filtering out my air conditioner sound, and my camera, of course, doesn't only have that. So, I'm going to get started here. Starting out with clean, dry nails, we're going to begin with the base coat. I'm using Ready for Takeoff, and you can use whichever is your personal favorite. A lot of times, too, when I'm recording, I only talk for a little bit, and then I just have some additional video that I may or may not use, and a lot of times may get like sped up a little bit with some music on top of. So not all the tutorial is all necessarily just the parts where I'm explaining stuff. Gotta have other parts where you give people another look at what you're doing also. And of course, you do not have to use peel off base coat. And some days I wonder why I still do use peel off base coat. If you were here last week's stream, I lost a Peely's worth of polish just opening a bottle of polish. Like, literally, sometimes the peel off base coat is that delicate that the smallest little thing can lead to it just like flying completely off. But on the other hand, it's easier on your nails, it's fun to have the peelies, and it hasn't frustrated me to the point that I've fully switched yet, so maybe one day that will happen. Especially, I seem to lean toward that more if I lose a peely in a really awkward situation, like when I'm out and about running errands or something like that. If I just lose one around the house, I'm less likely to be super irritated. You just realized you smelled smooshie wrong? Well, I don't know which is the correct spelling. I think I usually spell it with a Y, but like smoothie is spelled with an IE, so you would think that possibly smooshy also would be spelled with an IE? I don't know. Could be, I think there's a word for that. Words that have multiple spellings. And we're just going to give the peel off base coat a little bit of time to dry. You can kind of tell by how shiny, like see my index finger right here, which I've just painted, is very shiny. And the pinky is not quite as shiny, it's getting just a little bit matte. And I do try to use a fairly thin coat of the peel off base. So, The next video clip, I'm trying to just make sure all my... Oh, actually, I can put this maybe over here. So I'm not going to be using the silver. And my distractible ass would probably start using it and then remember that I had decided to use the white. So the next segment, I always try to note all the colors. So I'll be going over those. And then after we get the base color on, we'll move on to actually marbling on my nails. And hopefully the polishes cooperate as well as they did in testing. It's always particularly frustrating to me when I do a lot of testing and something seems to be working really well, and I get to actually doing the manicure, and all of a sudden it sucks. And it's a struggle, and I end up doing a lot of cups that aren't suitable to be dipped in. So I don't know if I'm hoping for that to happen so you guys can have a learning experience, or hoping for it not to happen so that I can have a smooth tutorial. Of course, somehow in the editing process, can always manage to make it at least look smooth, even if the actual process was not so smooth. The colors that I'll be using today are all from OPI's Color Paints collection. We have Pen and Pink, we have Magenta Muse, Chromatic Orange, and Primarily Yellow are the first four. Then we have Landscape Artist, Turquoise Aesthetic, Indigo Motif, and Purple Perspective for the second four. For my base color, I'm going to be using OPI Alpine Snow, and once I get that applied, I'm going to be protecting around my nails with Simply Peel. Smooth tutorial. I always vote for smooth tutorial. Oh, God. Oh my God, you guys, this is so tight. There we go. See, now like this, you hopefully will not notice in the tutorial because I'll just edit out this little gap between talking the colors up and... See, now this is really... It's got like all this gross crap. I'm going to try and just clean that off slightly, off to the side. Because if you don't, sometimes that'll end up getting exactly where you don't want it, aka on your wet nails, and sticking there and being horrible. So, this is a little bit empty, so end up just having to kind of tip the bottle. There are some handy dandy little, forget what they're called. They're like these little holders that sit crooked, so they hold your bottle crooked. I've never really seen the need to buy anything special for that, but I did at one point buy an egg of silly putty for that purpose, because basically you can stick down the silly putty and wedge the bottle polish into the silly putty, and the silly putty will hold it at whatever angle you wedge it in there for. And a lot of times I don't worry about if the base color is completely opaque or completely even, but because these are, jellies and you are pretty much going to be seeing the base color underneath, I'll probably go ahead and add a second coat of white just to keep everything nice and opaque. The silly putty, you mean, Starlore? Yeah, I completely cannot take credit for it, but I unfortunately don't remember who I need to give credit to. It was another blogger. It was many, many years ago, and I think it was another blogger that came up with that for a solution long before those little crooked holders were ever on the market. The one downside is, as messy as my desk is, and with little, like, dried nail polish and other weird stuff on the surface, Sometimes if you stick the silly putty on there, it comes up just with all kinds of stuff stuck in it, which is kind of gnarly. But a lot of times, I also don't like it because you're kind of limited in, you know, once you stick it there, that's... Emily Rab, thank you for the follow, or yeah, for the follow and for the bits. Thank you so much. Boy, that bits cheer or sound effect is a little bit loud for me. I'm assuming it's a little bit loud for you guys too. I may have to turn it down a little bit after stream, but thank you so much. I've been distracted again by the flattery of someone cheering in my channel. Yeah, boy, is Ninja still here to see that he's been knocked down to 3rd place now? Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought again. That's God, I hope I get over that soon, because if I like lose my train of thought every time somebody cheers, this is gonna be a pretty dang confusing stream in a minute. So, and I'm sorry for the shaking, you guys. Like I said, the camera is also attached to the ring light, so every time I need to touch the camera to like hit the record button, then the ring light tends to shake a little bit. And I'm not convinced I have the best setup here. It's a decent setup, but I feel like there has to be a solution that's a little bit more stable than this. I mean, I don't know. I also don't want to spend like professional movie equipment prices, but there has to be some kind of a consumer product that's a little bit more sturdy than this arm that I'm currently using. But this was the sturdiest one that I could find at the time. A lot of the arms that I looked at actually did not have a high enough weight limit for my ring light. So, we'll see. Once I get this done, I'll be doing the Simply Peel. And after the Simply Peel, then we'll be getting back to the actual water marbling. I know this is probably like not that super interesting, just watching white polish getting painted. Actually, I try to make sure I have plenty of footage on my camera, but then sometimes it's like I forget that I'm recording and I end up recording way too much. Like generally, most of the tutorial is going to feature my left hand. This is my right hand, because I mean my left hand is longer nails, they're in better shape, and usually end up with a better design because it's easier to paint my left hand with my right. But sometimes, for unknown reasons, with water marbles in particular, the right hand will sneak in there and get a better design than the left hand. So, I don't know what's up with that. With water marbling, I think maybe it's because I have a slightly easier time aiming the fingers when I'm dipping. So it does once again come down to that control of your dominant hand versus your off hand. That's kind of... I think I must have a little bit of peeling on my thumb here, because this tip is very uneven, but we'll just call that okay and hope that it disappears under the water marble. Oh, that's fine, Mega Butts. Feel free to lurk, whether you're taking off polish or just, like, personally, a lot of times when I'm watching streams, I'll be, if I can stay awake, I'll cast it onto my TV and I'll actually watch from my bed. And so, when I do that, I'm not, right at my keyboard to continue participating in the chat. But lurkers make the world go round. I mean, I think in the majority of streams, the majority of viewers are lurking. I mean, even if you look in like a really big stream with, say, a couple hundred or a couple thousand people watching, you don't have that couple hundred or couple thousand people chatting. I mean, sometimes you do. Any of you who are not people that I brought to Twitch, but people that already know about Twitch, if you've ever been in any of the GDQ chats, those tend to get really a little bit out of hand, I'll say. So we're moving on to the Simply Peel. My brush is actually not too gnarly right now, which is nice. And we're going to protect around the sides of the nail, at the cuticle, like up to the knuckle, if not even a little bit higher. And then on the underside of the nail, or the underside of the finger, get like right about there and protect it. And I tend to leave a little bit of a seam, if you can see on my pinky there, where it makes it easier to peel it off once I'm done marbling. So I kind of try to make sure that even though that leaves a little spot where there will be polish, for me it's worth it because it makes the removal easier. Otherwise, you need to worry about possibly cutting the latex with the scissors, or like getting it around your nail without touching the wet water marble design, which can be very tricky. And I mean, you can really get very close in with Simply Peel or whatever kind of barrier product you prefer. But sometimes if I really get in close, I have trouble getting a very clean peel. Like if I try to get in on the inside of my cuticle instead of like the outside of my cuticle, I tend to end up with a little bit more problems. What do I do when Sèche Vite gets too thick? Well, they have their own thinner, which is called Sèche Restore, but I usually just use my regular polish thinner, which I get at Sally's. It's the Beauty Secrets brand. And what I've found, and I think we were talking about this last stream or maybe the stream before that, is I buy the kind of industrial sized Sèche Vite bottle, the refill bottle, and I found that if I keep my my small bottle topped off, that it's less likely to get thick. So I'll show you here in a minute once I finish getting the Simply Peel on my thumb what my Sèche Vite bottle currently looks like. Okay, sorry, that's too awkward of an angle to let you guys see the underside of doing my thumb. I'm just gonna let this dry for a minute. You can see the pinky is already starting to dry. It starts to get a little bit transparent and a little bit glittery. So like right now, this is my bottle of Sèche Vite. You can see it's, well, it looks emptier as I tilt it to the side there, but it's about right here. I'll probably top it off after I do this manicure, and I think keeping less air in the bottle helps to keep it at a good consistency. Yeah, the Sèche Restore, it has something in it that the regular polish thinner doesn't, but I've never noticed any bad effects with using regular polish thinner with the Sèche Vite. And it's definitely so cheap. It's like this size bottle, which is like 4 fluid ounces, is like $2 at Sally's. So I definitely recommend that. And anybody with a larger stash of nail polish, I recommend you have some polish thinner on hand because nail polish doesn't really expire. There are some weird things that can happen with old nail polish, but I would say 90% of the time, the only problem is that it gets thick, and you can fix that with a little or a lot of polish thinner. I mean, I've had really old polishes that were the consistency of, well, we were just talking about silly putty, so I'm going to use that as an example, like, you know, nearly solid but still slightly malleable, that I have brought back with like a huge amount of polish thinner. The only other thing that I really have noticed with super old polish, some that has more of a, you know, before they started going 3 free, 5 free, 10 free polishes that are more chemically, actually the opposite happens. They get really thin as they get old. And I've had a couple polishes where I've actually had to like leave the cap off overnight to try and force them to thicken up into a consistency that's usable to go on the nail. And the only other thing that I've seen happen is certain colors will not age well, I suppose, depending on what pigments are in there. Particularly neons, I've seen tend to get less bright as they age. And that's probably like way more information than anybody was interested in. Listen to streams as you drift off to sleep. Yeah, sometimes yes, but sometimes that can backfire if they, oh goodness. X chapters! Hello! How are you, sir? How was your, Mega Man marathon today? What I was gonna say, Starlord, is like if you're watching somebody mellow and they host somebody that's playing like a more energetic game, and it's like you wake up to somebody like screaming or like loud music. Let's see here. The clear stuff for, I think you mean probably this Simply Peel, Emily, which is turning clear as it dries. This is a liquid latex protector, and you paint it around your nails to prevent the water marble from getting on your skin. And then you'll see when we actually do the water marble and dip our nails, we'll be able to just easily peel it off, and it really minimizes the cleanup with water marble. Hello, Tweener. Welcome. My stream is going quite well, X. It's my first stream as affiliate, and Luke came in and was giving out subs left and right, and I was very frazzled and flabbergasted. And oh crap, this is the one downside of liquid latex. I like barely brushed these fingers together, and now they're stuck together. Luckily, I have a scissors very close. What we are actually getting ready to do, X chapters, is actual water marbling on actual nails. We whoops. Knocked the camera there a little bit. Sorry. Of course, let's see. Where's my camera pointing? I'm trying for the first time to actually record a tutorial while I'm streaming, and it is it's actually going okay. Okay, let me just there. Trying to keep track of two cameras is slightly tricky. Estrada, where the hell am I? You are in my channel now. My name is Colette, and I do nail art. And X Chapters has been kind enough to raid me a couple of times, and I really appreciate it. So, welcome to everybody from X Chapters' awesome stream. Okay, I'm just realizing that I possibly should have done this first, because now I've got latex fingers and I gotta open all these polishes. So this is going to be slightly awkward. So this is a good time for questions if anybody has questions. Because I've got to unscrew these without touching any of my fingers together so that we don't have another stuck finger situation. Lurk and do stiff. Yes. And cheering. Oh my goodness. Emily, thank you. Thank you again for the bits. In the crook of my elbow. That would be a recipe for quickly spilling polish. I'm doing kind of a palm grip. Your waifu might dig my stream. Definitely. Tell her to come on through. I try to have a pretty chill stream here. We've got a bunch of people that love nail polish and a bunch of other people that are just really nice to me and like to hang out. I don't think X Chapters is going to be painting his nails anytime soon, but he's still nice enough to host me. And Yeah, everyone is welcome. I'm trying to build a really awesome chill community here, and I feel like I'm off on the right foot. Show you guys my collection. You know, I plan to. One of the things that I'm trying to do, I feel guilty when I say that because I instantly think of all the times over the past week when I could have spent time doing this and I did not. But I'm really trying to reorganize my stash. I have 4 new Helmers to put together and put away all the polishes there are. Literally, there's a box of polish right here, right next to Beanie's chair. There's a massive amount of shoe boxes on my other side. This bookcase over here has nail polish and shoe boxes and nail polish. And then in front of the bookcase, there are more boxes that have nail polish in them. So right now, my collection is in a very haphazard state, but I plan on getting it organized soon. And if all goes well, if all goes according to plan, I will actually be swatching my entire collection on stream. So if you like my nail polish and chill, it's going to be so much nail polish and so much chill that I just don't even know. I have no idea how long that's going to take because I have over 3,000 bottles of nail polish currently. And it's an intimidatingly large project. A Helmer building stream. I have seriously considered it clever username, but like usually when I build my Helmers, I'm sitting on the floor, so I don't know how I would get my... Well, I suppose I could maybe use my laptop to get the chat somewhere where I can actually see it. I'm not promising anything, but I'm not saying that it won't happen either. May happen, may not happen, but the swatching will definitely happen. And I'm kind of surprised with my ability to keep talking for the whole stream because generally speaking, I'm a very quiet person. But probably a lot of my older nail polishes have stories to go with them. So I'm hoping those streams will be cool. And I hope to start those in like a couple weeks or so. Next week, if all goes well, there may be a video game stream for those of you who have asked. The Steam sale starts on the 21st, and I have at least 3 games that I've kind of got my eye on. So, excited for this watching? Good! Well, you know, it's one of those things that some people get and some people don't get. Like, some people are like, wait, you're watching what? But I would watch it, so I figure that means there are other people that are out there that would watch it too. So I'm glad to hear. Astarata. Might have to find a way to abbreviate that. I get tongue-tied very easily, which I don't know if that's annoying or adorable for a viewer, but swatching is basically when you take a nail polish and you paint it out. Some people swatch on their nails, some people swatch on a piece of paper. I actually have a bunch of fake nails on sticks that I bought for swatching, because sometimes what you see in the bottle isn't always what you get. Like this bottle here, I can kind of squeeze it in camera, looks pretty opaque in the bottle. This whole collection is actually jellies, which means that you can see through them. So, are you looking forward to the gaming stream, Starlord? That's awesome. I know it's maybe not what everybody will be interested in, but kind of just like my videos over on YouTube, you know, watch what you're interested in, and if you're not, come back later and there should be something else for you. Paint them without screwing one up bad. Like watching someone do gymnastics. Oh my goodness, thank you. Yeah, Starlord, the gaming stream, I'm leaning toward a Hollow Knight for my first gaming stream. I'm hoping it goes on sale during the Steam sale. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but most of their things seem to go on sale during the sale. That's kind of a mouthful. So So yeah, I'm thinking very positively toward that, and like I'm like so anxious. Well, anxious isn't maybe quite the right word. I'm sick of waiting for the sale to happen because I almost bought at least one game during this past week, and I was like, Colette, that would be so dumb. There's about to be a sale. This stuff could go on sale, and then you're going to feel dumb because you paid too much. So I'm really having trouble being patient, but I have no choice but to be patient. Jen Sweden, hello. Thank you for joining us. All right. So, excuse me. Completely unladylike, I know. We are going to do another little piece of the tutorial. So I'm going to be talking for that for a minute, and then I'll be back to you guys, and then I'll probably be back to a little bit of tutorial. And, yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I think you guys can probably tell just from my tone of voice when I'm talking to you and when I'm recording the tutorial. And yes, I'm still trying to manage 2 cameras to have them both showing the water marble. So, and neither one hopefully too shaky. Oh, before I do this, I meant to. Sometimes, you guys saw I switched out the cup of water just because this one hasn't been used, so it doesn't have all that existing residue in there. Sometimes, like when we started testing, the very first drop of polish doesn't fully want to cooperate. So let's do just 1 drop and see if we can get this surface nice and clean so that it will play nicely with us when we start the marbling. Hopefully. And get a nice, even bullseye going here. Alright. As usual, I'm working in a 5-ounce paper cup filled with room temperature filtered water. And once you decide what color you want to end your bullseye in, you'll have to figure out what color you want to start your bullseye with. Since this collection is so large, I don't quite have enough room to do 2 rounds of all the colors. So I do 1.5 rounds, starting with the yellow, the orange, the red, and the pink. And then we'll go through all the colors one time to get a full rainbow effect. So now we're back to the initial 4 colors. And once I have the bullseye complete, we'll start drawing in the design. So, with my orange stick, I'm going to go ahead and draw from one side and then out to the other. And I want to just dip in the center a little bit, make that a little bit of a narrower strip of pink there. And then I'm going to be drawing in some narrow chevrons. So go from one side of the cup to the other and repeat that across the whole cup. This should be enough for 2 or possibly 3 nails. We'll see. I'm kind of crossing my fingers for 3, but I'm kind of expecting probably only 2. We're getting a little bit uneven here, but not so bad that it's unusable, I don't think. Alright, moment of truth. Do I want to try and cram 3 fingers in here? You guys, the urge to dip 3 is so strong. But I think I'm just going to do 2. I'm actually going to turn the cup a little bit to make it easier to dip my fingers. I'm going to try and not get them stuck together and line them up and then dip into the water. Once you got your fingers in there, you want to clean up any of the excess polish that's still on the surface. If If you leave that there, it can stick on top of your nails and kind of ruin the design you were going for. And then slowly pull out. And there's the water marble. So, get that little cup out of the way. Zoom in a little bit here. That was a little bit too much. And that was not quite enough. Here we go. So, try to find the edge of the latex with a pair of tweezers. Tweezers are optional, but can kind of help keep it from getting stuck on your fingers, or once you have some more nails done from messing up your manicure. And just start peeling it away like that. And once I've finished all my nails, I'll go back in with a small brush and polish remover to finish the cleanup. But you can see, gosh, this one's kind of hard to grab. You can see what a difference the liquid latex makes. Oh, and sometimes it peels nicer than others. But definitely saves a lot of hassle. There we go. So, I think that turned out pretty dang good, you guys. I do wish that the purple was a little bit more dominant. We'll see if we can resolve that with our next couple of fingers. The reason that I really wanted to do 3 nails instead of 2 is because then I could do the whole manicure in just 4 cups. Since I'm only able to do 2 nails at a time, that means my thumb will have to go by itself, so that'll be 3 cups per hand, a total of 6 cups. Megabutts, what did I say that was? I'm not even sure now. It was like 2 minutes ago. Now I'm behind and I don't even remember what I said. Might eventually have to add another mod just for adding quotes, or you guys will just have to tell me and I'll add a quote when I get a chance. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the next bullseye for the next 2 fingers. And sometimes it really depends when I'm doing a tutorial, like honestly my mood and just what I'm eventually going for, how much extra water marbling I show. Like for this one, I've turned off the camera. I'm not recording building the bullseye, but I probably will turn on the camera to record drawing the pattern and the actual dip. And of course I'll be showing the cleanup and all that too. But even then, sometimes like I'll go, once I get to editing, and I'll be like, you know, I don't think I do want to show that, and I might have something that I recorded that I don't end up using at all. We've got a slightly wonky bullseye here again, but it'll be okay. Whoa, that was quite a spread. We'll just dip in like this. Oops, I forgot to start recording. That's fine. It'll be okay. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that is a little bit not safe for work, or not PG-13. This is gonna be a R-rated stream. It happens all the time though, and sometimes I feel like, God, am I the dirty one, or are you guys the dirty ones with your dirty minds? But I do the same thing when I'm in streams. It's like, out of context quote here. And when you're doing your next set of chevrons like I am right now, you want to be kind of mindful to try and keep them about the same as your first set, so that the, you don't have some fingers with very narrow stripes and some fingers with wider stripes. I'm examining the design. It's mostly the same. It's not quite fully the same. I think I want to turn it this way. colors are a little bit more intense on this edge of the cup. And I'm going to be dipping my ring finger and my pinky. Sometimes I'll kind of, I know it's hard to see, rest my knuckles on the side of the cup while I line up my fingers and then dip in. Again, cleaning up that excess polish on the surface. Whoa. And I've got my little paper towel and my container of polish remover here on the side. Whoa. Almost pulled that nail out on a dirty surface, but I think we avoided a disaster. And can you see this little bubble right here? Sometimes that'll pop when you break the surface, but like since it didn't, I'm just gonna break it with my orange stick. Like that. And then we're going to take off this latex again. I think those ended up pretty even compared to the other fingers, which is good. Now the trick will be making sure that my right hand also is even with the left hand. Let's actually see if we can get a better start on the underside here. There we go. And for liquid latex, what we used to do is just use tape. Just tape around the edges of your fingers. And when I water marble on my mom's nails, I actually still use tape because she's not a fan of the liquid latex. She cannot manage to keep her fingers apart, so they end up getting stuck together. And then when they're stuck together, she can't manage to hold still, so she instantly tries to pull them apart and just wrecks all of the latex. Play too many games online and all of my guy friends have been a bad influence. See, I wish I had that excuse. I haven't. If I play next weekend, which, like I said, I'm really leaning toward, it's not set in stone yet. And if I do, it will probably not be on Saturday. Saturday will still be a nail polish stream. It'll be the first time I've seriously played video games in like over 10 years. And the last video game that I seriously played was an MMORPG, so not a platformer. So, like, in my head, I'm gonna be great, because I'm familiar with this game. I may not have played it, but I know what's going on. But reality is that it might be a disaster, and there may be a lot of salt going on. So, yeah, girls are just as dirty-minded as boys. Oh, trying to blame the guys and play innocent. Yeah. Your fingers are all latexed up too, Megabutts. Gotta head out, X chapters. Sugar and cookies. Thank you so much, X, again, for the raid and the host and all the good things that you send my way. I hope you have a lovely... Well, it's probably bedtime for you, I suppose, after a 12-hour stream. So I hope you have a lovely evening and a great day tomorrow, too. Thank you again. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but thank you. But it really means a lot. I know there's a lot of people that X Chapters could have hosted, and he chose to host me again and raid me again. After the last time when Nightbot banned all his people for spamming emotes in my chat. At least that didn't happen. Emily, it was Final Fantasy XI. I played that for several years. And it was a long time ago. Like, when I actually, like, calculate in my mind and I'm like, oh my god, that was a long time ago. I got into it when my boyfriend was actually part of the beta test. And after it went out of beta and into actual gaming, a lot of the beta testers kind of gathered on a particular server, and I ended up on that server also. And honestly, I mean, I didn't have a super high leveled character, but I had my crafting maxed out, and I had a bunch of mules with maxed out crafting, and I had a whole bunch of gil in my pocket. Alright, so we need to In fact, maybe since I didn't completely record that last one, I'll even record the bullseye for this one. How's my battery doing? That's the other thing I have to keep an eye on, because I have multiple batteries for my camera, but because of the way that it's like configured, I actually have to unmount it and take it off of the thing that connects it to the light in order to access the battery slot, which is kind of a pain in the butt. And I really don't like doing it in the middle of a tutorial because a lot of the times my nails are wet. So, sad to say, sometimes even that consideration will depend on what exactly I record while I'm doing a tutorial, because I would like to get through the whole thing without having to switch batteries. And from time to time, I mean, the batteries just end up holding less of a charge as they get older. But the ones I have right now are fairly new, but they're also not completely name brand. Because the name brand ones are just too dang expensive. Like, come on here, Canon. Alright. One more drop. We'll stretch this out here. And sometimes, like, you can see that this isn't completely centered again. Sometimes the direction that I will stretch it out will depend on exactly how it's sitting lopsided in the cup to hopefully end up with a non-lopsided final design. Again, I'm just dipping out a little bit of that pink in the center so it's not overwhelming. And then we're going to draw in more of these very tight chevrons from one side to the other. And we'll have a lot of freedom with this one since we're only dipping one nail. We'll be able to find the absolute best part of the design and dip the thumbnail in there. And if you're just starting out with water marbling, you probably will find it easier to dip just one nail at a time. And also, there's no reason in the world why you have to do a complete full water marble manicure. Just go ahead and use it as an accent nail. It could be really nice. Alright, I feel like this side is a little bit wider than the other ones, but it's also very, very vibrant, and my thumb is also a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the cup like this, and actually this is kind of a little bit of a bubble right there. I'm going to just kind of slowly try to draw it out along the same path I drew before. There, that's a little bit better. We're just going to aim. Sometimes this is the hardest part, is just picking where exactly you want to dip your nail. And dip in. Clean off the surface. And boy, I got a lot of pink. I regret that a little bit, because that's a lot of pink going on. And barely any purple. I mean, the purple where you see the darker lines through there, that's the purple and the green and the blue and the indigo. You know, it's like in that skinny part of the design. Part of me does want to try this with purple in the middle, wondering if it would still be too dark. You know what? Why not? Why not give it a try? We'll make the left hand purple dominant and see how different they look. Of course, I should also probably add another little note in the tutorial, of course, or I can add it when I do my I'm sorry, I'm completely off camera here. This is another thing, even when I'm doing tutorials, let alone when I'm live streaming, it's like I'll be doing something and all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, gosh, that probably should have been on camera, and it's not. But there you can see the thumbnail compared to the others. Like, this one probably got almost the most, and even that, what you're really getting is a lot of the indigo. We'll leave these open. for now. Let's see here. Do they sell those UV things that... Oh, hello. Well, Emily! More bits. Thank you. Those UV things that dry your nails, or do they have them in places that do nails? Well, it depends on exactly what you mean, because there are like UV nail lamps, but those will only dry your nails if you're using a UV activated gel polish. There very well may be a UV lamp that also helps with regular polish. If so, I do not have one of those. But I usually get by pretty well with Seche Vite as my quick dry top coat. Yeah, okay, everybody already said what I just said. This is what happens when I have a knowledgeable chat and I get behind and they just answer all the questions for me because they're awesome. I did at one time have like a nail dryer that was like a little thing you stuck your fingers in and it had like a little fan. But I was never super impressed with it. My go-to for fast drying is for sure Seche Vite. I mean, it's a miracle worker in certain circumstances. Always find a reason to buy new polishes. Yeah, you know what? You don't even need a reason. Who needs a reason? It's polished and that's enough. Oh my god, rhinestones. Rhinestones are honestly like right up there with full-on glitter manicures as far as removing them. Because it's like if you don't push them on hard enough, then you're going to lose them. And if you push them on really hard and get them like all the way down to the nail, then it's like they're bonded to your nail. Yeah, definitely share your manicure in Discord. That would be awesome. Alright, I'm going to start liquid latexing up my right hand here. Forgot your password. Don't you have a password recovery email set? Or, okay, this is how old I am, you guys. I finally gave in, and I have a little notebook with all my passwords written down in it. I used to, like, make fun of my mom for her little notebook full of passwords, and now I am my mother. But it actually is really... I mean, it's super convenient. It's, you know, as long as I don't lose the notebook and then everybody will be hacking into my accounts or, you know. But having them all in one place and not having to go through, like, you know, the recovery process whenever I forget a password. Because I have kind of a system for making my passwords that works pretty well for me. And usually I will remember my password for whatever site. But at a certain point, you know, especially like with shopping, I've got a bunch of accounts of places I don't shop very often, like eBay. And when I recently wanted to buy something on eBay, I had to relook up my password. I had to relook up my username because it like has some completely dumb numbers at the end of it, which usually I won't even like accept. I'll come up with a completely different username rather than stick numbers on the end of my username. My Simply Peel needs to be cleaned too. Can you guys see? It's kind of hard to show you, but like there's like a skin inside the bottle. I'll have to see if I can get that out with a tweezer. I'm glad though that my brush is ooh, that actually got right on my nail. My brush is hanging in there so far because I've had times where my Simply Peel brush is like so gnarly that it makes it really hard to actually apply it evenly on the nail. And sometimes you can clean the brush like with the tweezers. And sometimes you just need to start completely over with a new brush. So this one has been behaving pretty nicely. And actually, a full replacement brush is not actually that expensive. It's just like the hassle of it and the principle of the thing. Like, I don't want to have to replace it. We'll see. Maybe at the end of stream, I'll see if I can clean out my Simply Peel bottle. I need a tool or something to get in there. So we gotta let this dry for a couple minutes here. You have yours in a draft email. That's a pretty good idea too. Yes, well, it's like, okay, your password has to be 8 characters long, it has to be alphanumeric, there have to be lowercase letters and uppercase letters, there has to be a number and a special character. And it's like, and it's kind of funny to me. My mom, she works for General Mills, and apparently at some point they had like a little a lecture or, you know, presentation on how to create really safe passwords. And now my mom's passwords are like so freaking long and complicated, which is good, but it's like, oh my god. And I know there's like services out there that will like remember all your passwords for you or control them or all that, and for some reason that just I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like the idea of it, and I can't even quite put my finger on why, which is one of my pet peeves. Like if somebody ever answers a question with I don't know, I'm like, well, you need to think about that a little harder. So maybe I need to think about it a little harder as far as why I don't like the idea of the password manager. But you know, my system works for me, and as long as you can get into your accounts, you see your accounts are so secure that even you can't get in. Yeah, that's the problem. Or you know, 2-step authentication. I should probably have that turned on more things. But then I'm always like, you know, you think of the worst case scenario. I recall seeing this article about this guy that got his account hacked because he had on the 2-factor authentication, and this hacker convinced his phone carrier that they were him, and the phone carrier gave the hacker his phone number so he was able to have the authentication password, you know, texted to him or whatever. And it was like, that freaked me out from 2-factor authentication, even though I'm sure that's a completely isolated case. Yeah, there is that, Emily. And I mean, that's probably in the back of my head. I mean, or what if you forget your password to the password manager? Then you're like, you know, completely stuck. So, okay. Let's get the camera back on. And we'll do just a short intro for this one. Well, it's not really an intro because it'll be in the middle of the tutorial, but I think you know what I mean. Yeah, they make you change it so often. It's like, you changed your password 2 weeks ago. It's time for a new password. For my right hand, I decided to vary it up just a little bit, and I'll be ending with purple in the middle. So I'm also varying how I start out the bullseye. I'll be starting with the green. And we'll see if that sentence actually makes it into the finished tutorial or not. Sometimes it's like I do something, and then when I'm editing it, I look at it and I'm like, I don't think that needs to be in there. Or I end up saying it again later, and I like the way, or the placement of that better than when I first said it. Because I usually do an intro and an outro just with kind of my final thoughts on the manicure and anything that I realize I forgot to say during the actual tutorial. So that may be a better place to include that information. So the problem with the flower is that the purple was very much too dark in the middle. So I'm trying to be very careful here not to stick my fingers together too. Hopefully as we stretch this out like this, that gets the purple light enough that it won't be a problem. Get it just a little bit skinnier. And I've got my orange stick like in this claw grip so that my fingers don't get stuck together. But we're going to be doing the same. Whoa, okay, that's dried. The same very tight chevrons. Again, you want, just like you want them to be the same on your hand. You want them to be the same between your two hands. So, and I'm just wiping my orange stick as I feel I need it. Whoa, that's very messy. I maybe was talking a little bit too much during this, but it's salvageable. Especially, this is a point where, because part of the design is a little bit wonky, I think I will make the call to not dip multiple fingers in it. I'll just, again, aim for the best part of the design and go to get that on my thumb. So, I'm gonna line up here and dip in. Then clean up around the edges. Whoa, I can see my thumb, and this is kind of cool. Oh, I like that a lot. With the purple prominent. Ooh. And part of me will be bothered by not having my hands the same. But, crap. I'm trying to get my tweezers over here. Another part of me will also kind of like it. I'm just trying to get the liquid latex here. Get a good grip. And peel that off. Because sometimes it's just fun to have different things to look at on my own nails. And also, sometimes it's very fun to show what just a pretty small change can accomplish as far as really changing the final design. So literally the only thing we did different was the order that we did the colors. And left hand is very pink, and right hand is very blue and purple. Every time iOS does an update, it turns off Touch ID and makes you change the password. Well, and they update kind of all the time, don't they? That's crazy. Yes, Mrs. Shrado. Did I say hello to you? Hello. Thank you for joining us. If you send bits while I'm recording, will that mess it up? The sound will probably show up because in my head I was thinking, mute your sound before you start recording, but I haven't been doing so. But also, a lot of what I'm recording is not stuff where I'm going to be using the audio. I'll probably be putting some music over it. So, if you feel like cheering some more bits, which I like, you've already cheered a lot of bits, and I appreciate it, but if you want to cheer some more, you are free to do so whenever you would like. Little bit wonky, Starlore. Yeah, and I mean, sometimes I'll be fully planning to do 2 or 3 nails at a time, and like I was saying, the test design made it appear, like, when I do my tests... Am I still recording? Let me turn this off. Crap. See, that's when I run into my battery dying, when I sit there and record a bunch of stuff that didn't need recording. So, like, a lot of people will use, like, a fake nail to do their water marble testing on, and one of the reasons I don't like to do that is because then I can't fully visualize how dipping multiple nails will work. When I have a design like this, I can kind of basically just line my fingers up right on top of it and say, oh yeah, there's for sure room to dip 2 nails in that. But even then, the water marble may or may not cooperate with you when you get to the actual manicure part. Maybe under a different email. Sometimes it can really get confusing. I only have like a couple emails, and I still get confused because, like, I have my personal email, and then I have most things like, you know, my YouTube and my Twitch and stuff under kind of my business email, my Simple Little Pleasures email. What did you miss? Ninja, you missed beautiful things happening. Bright and beautiful things happening. Yeah, exactly the same in quotes. Ooh, date night. That sounds like fun. I don't know if I can properly say I've ever been on a real date. Watching me always makes you want to marble. Aw. Watching me sometimes makes me want to marble. Like, the more I marble, the more I want to marble. If I take a break from water marbling and then I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, oh, it's so much work and oh, whatever. But like when I've had my testing streams, the more I test and the more I play with the polish, the more other ideas I start to have and the more I want to do more. So, but we were also, well, if you were here lurking, you know, we were talking about gradients earlier too, and I love a good gradient. And I feel like I haven't done a gradient in a while. And full disclosure, as I like to say, I was thinking quite strongly about using these rainbow colors in a gradient. And I kind of put it off to give my nails a little bit of time to grow out more. Because when, like with a regular gradient, it really doesn't matter how long or short your nails are. If you're, only using like 2 or 3 colors, it'll be fine. If I wanted to do all 8 of these colors on my nails, like I'm pretty sure that's going to be a tight fit. Just even to fit them all onto the sponge, let alone to fit them all onto my nail. But I was considering doing a... Crap, my orange stick is not clean. A full-on rainbow reciprocal gradient using these. So that may still happen. I feel like since it's Pride Month, it's such a good excuse to do rainbows. Not that I necessarily need any excuse to do rainbows, because I love rainbows all year long. But why not use a good excuse if you have it? Alright. Again with the very skinny chevrons. And dang it, some of this is getting quite plasticky. Thank you, whoever and whatever that was. I feel like when I set up my alerts, I was like, oh, I will definitely know this sound is a follow and this sub is this sound is a sub and this sound is a cheer. And now it's like, oh, it's a sound. Which sound is that? And the other trick to getting them to really look stripy, I think I might have mentioned this before, is not going straight across, but like kind of across and back down toward where the previous stripe started. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm fairly pleased with that. Let's do ring, finger, and pinky in here. And whoa. Line up and dip. Alright. Thank you, Kimochi97, for the follow. Alright, get in here. And sometimes, the downside of doing 3 fingers at a time is sometimes it can be really difficult to get in there and do this cleanup that I'm doing right now, because you've crammed 3 fingers in there. Gonna pull out slowly. And there we go. Gosh, I don't know which one of these I like better, you guys. Left or right. They're both freaking awesome. Got another little bubble living here on the pinky. Right here. Just gonna pop that. Another reason, I mean, bubbles, there are like those big bubbles, and then there are also maybe smaller bubbles when you're marbling that you need to deal with. And like those big bubbles, you definitely want to deal with before you peel your liquid latex off, because otherwise I feel like they could easily pull up a part of your design that you don't want to pull up. And then the small bubbles, which we'll be dealing with in a minute, you want to get rid of, because otherwise they will pop when you apply your top coat. And in this case, that would be showing the bare naked white base color underneath. Sometimes if you're doing a colored marble and you're using one of the colors as the base color, the bubbles are less of an issue. because you're not seeing white underneath, you're seeing one of the colors that's also part of the marble. Whew. I don't even know how to decide between these, you guys. They're both really excellent. Not sure if you should add a glitter or flaky topper. Well, it can be really hard to decide, like we were even looking at earlier. How much batter do I have left here? We'll do one more. But not the whole bullseye. You could also use the glitter or flaky topper just as an accent nail, depending on what the manicure is. Like, sometimes I think the classiest looking manicures are just like a plain manicure, and then you have one accent nail that's maybe got a topper, or is like a slightly different color or different texture polish. Starry Night. Well, probably the purple and the yellow are prominent in this. I mean, compared to this, like, they're so very different. I think they're both obviously rainbow, but it's just which color you prefer to be prominent. I think also, I mean, compared to like this ring finger, you can quite tell that that's a chevron, whereas this ring finger is really, really looking like stripes. And that's something that like somebody just glancing at your nails probably would never notice, but it's something that you, as your manicurist, you're gonna know. And so that's part of the reason I know why I like it better, is because it is stripes, which was intentional. And like they're pretty evenly horizontal stripes. Like the pinky is pretty stripy, but it's going off at a little bit of a wonky angle. This pinky too is not fully like straight stripes. A summer picnic on my nails, beach towels, and fun tableware. I do like sometimes like on a like QVC or Home Shopping Network, and they'll have like a set of 20, you know, whatever kind of containers, and you look and it's like, oh, I want some just because I think they're so pretty. Completely do not need them. Never go on actual picnics because I hate eating outside. Yeah, everybody definitely check Discord out if you haven't. It's just a place to hang out when we're not streaming. I mean, I'm not in there all the time. Was that like not even in focus before? There we go. But like there's an announcements channel where I will try, if I'm doing something that's not scheduled, I'll try and announce it in Discord like slightly before I start, either like a day or so before or earlier in the same day. We have just a general channel for you guys to chat about whatever you'd like to chat about. We have a channel for clips and videos, so if you have a great clip of the stream that you want to share, or if you have a YouTube video you want to share, you can post that there. There is a social channel where you guys can feel free to post your own social media links and kind of network with each other. There's a manicures channel if you want to share your manicures. And of course, there's an animals channel if you want to share your adorable animals. And there's already tons of adorable animals in the animals channel. The high-pitched noise in the background. It may be... I'll have to listen back to it and see, Emily Robb. I'm not quite sure how... Hey, it's a bean! I'm not quite sure what you're hearing, but I'm guessing that it may be due to my audio filter. I have my air conditioning on and 2 fans, so to get rid of that noise, I'm using a filter, and that may be causing a little bit of like weird feedback or something. So hopefully it's not too bad, or else, you know, let me try this. Let's see if this helps. Because sometimes it's like my air conditioner is kind of old, and it vibrates like it's different little pieces aren't quite as tight as they should be. And it could very well be... Emily, thank you again for the 50 bits. Cheer for the kitty. Yeah, he's a good boy. Hi, Beanie. Hello, sweetheart. Since it vibrates at like different amounts at different times, it may have slightly changed from when I set the filter. So I'm going to be quiet here for a minute and reset the filter and see if that helps. Alright, that should maybe be a little bit better. Maybe, I hope so. If not, I'm sorry, but hopefully it's not like a horrible whining. It's just like a little background whining, because the air conditioner is loud as fuck with the Yeti microphone. The first time I had it on, I did a little test recording just to see if it was maybe, because like in my tutorials you can hear it frequently throughout the summer, but even with the cardioid pattern pickup, the Yeti is like so powerful that it just made the air conditioner sound like a freaking jet plane. That did help good. The third camera is the kitty cam. It was it was filling in as the water marble drying cam, but yeah, it is intended to be the kitty cam. In fact, he's settled. I can probably stick these back over here and he won't mind. He's a very tolerant boy, aren't you, Beanie? That's why Beanie is our first emote. He is our mascot. He's my little buddy. And okay, good. You know, it's kind of good to know. I'm looking at how long I've been streaming, that maybe I should like reset it periodically from time to time throughout the stream, or freaking figure out what's loose and get it to stop vibrating over on the thing. It's like, it's one of those things where I feel like I could try to fix it and make it better or make it much worse. Like if I go over there and press on it with my finger in a couple spots, I can definitely minimize the vibration, but I don't know if like a piece of tape would be able to fully accomplish that. So we've got just 2 more nails to do here. So we're going to build one more bullseye. I'm quite pleased, and hopefully I do not jinx myself here, that we have not had any like throwaway bullseyes where like I do the whole thing and then something horrible happens, like if it's dry and I really catch the edge and basically waste a whole cup of polish. So hopefully this also goes smoothly. We can get these last couple nails done. Oh, come on here. And then we will move on to the cleanup. So make sure I do these in the right order, because we did have a throwaway cup during testing where I just basically completely spazzed out and did not drip the colors in rainbow order. But that was okay. I mean, it's minor in the grand scheme of things. Alright. So we'll pull to this side and over to here. You can probably see this bubble here. We're definitely going to pop that. We don't want that on our nails. As well as dip out a little bit of the purple. Like that. Then we're just going to get in there and start drawing our skinny chevrons. Ooh, and this one does seem kind of on the dry side. Sometimes I just don't know, like am I talking too close to the cup? Am I breathing on it? Is it because the bottles of polish have been open for a couple hours? Are they drying faster because of that? Or is it some other factor that I haven't even considered making them dry faster? Sometimes you just don't know. But we're still getting a decent design out of it. Be good for 2 nails. And then we'll be done with the hard part. Alright. So we're gonna go line up here. Oh no, I'm stuck. And I didn't intend to be stuck. So we've got, oh, and I forgot to record it too. Dang it. Oh well. That happens. Sometimes I'll forget to record extra content that I plan to record, and I mean, I could redo it. I could, dump this cup and re-record another cup, but I mean, it's a good cup, so I don't really want to waste the polish. And here we go. That was slightly off from where I wanted to go, but we'll see in a second here if it was a horrible thing or just a not so horrible thing. Alright. Not so horrible. I mean, it's gonna bug me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And if you don't know what I'm talking about this little area at the tip here where I got a little bit past the design that I wanted. But it's okay. It's irritating, but okay. It's an extremely minor irritation, and as I've said before, most people looking at your manicure, they're not going to look at that and say, oh my god, you messed up, how are you even wearing that? They're just going to say, wow, that's an interesting, unique feature of that nail. And what you do is you just smile and you go, thank you, and you grit your teeth on it, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Which I know, believe me, I know so much can be hard to bite your tongue and not be critical of yourself. But like, if you don't know how to accept a compliment, like if you feel like you have to say something, the only thing, well, you don't have to say anything, but if you did have to say anything, I would say the only thing you have to say is thank you. Like, you don't have to say any qualifiers. And, okay, also, this is gonna irritate me a little bit. This little white spot in the corner here. I noticed that I went over with the Simply Peel there, and I intended to fix it once it was dry, and I kind of forgot. And I can't blame you guys on that, because I could have been equally as distracted even if I wasn't streaming. So, posted a pic in Discord, but you just added a flaky topper, and oh my god. Which flaky topper did you use, Mega? Yes, Emily, that used to be my main issue too. It was like I would try and sit with my hands like on my knees as a reminder, like not to move my hands, and still I would think they were dry and they wouldn't be dry and I would mess them up. And when I started blogging and I learned about Seche Vite, that's still probably like, oops, sorry, the best thing. I'm just closing these up before something disastrous happens, because you guys may have noticed by now that I am a little bit of a klutz. Yeah. Unicorn from Star Lily. I am not super familiar with that brand. I've heard of it. I don't have any. I was gonna say too, as far as Seche Vite, most people that I know really like Seche Vite, but some certain segment of the population, Seche Vite does not seem to play well with their body chemistry. And so if you have problems with it, don't think it's just you. You may just need to try a different quick dry top coat. And there are definitely other good ones out there. I just have never felt the need to like give them a try, because Seche has always worked very, very well for me. But some people will have problems where it shrinks the polish from their tips or from their cuticles. And this is a look at both of these. See, it's bugging me more just because it's like that's what's making it stand out from all the other nails on that hand. It's kind of interesting because this middle finger almost has kind of the same wonky thing going on in the opposite colors. What was I saying? Oh, so if you have problems with Seche Vite, you may want to try trying to think what the name. There's Posh, I know. There's Out the Door. There are definitely some other good ones. So if Sesh is not for you, even you may want to try Sesh Vive instead of Sesh Vite. I've had a lot of people say that works better for them. But a good quick dry top coat will absolutely, not to be dramatic or anything, but it'll change your life. Like, anybody that has gotten their nails done and then, like, realized they had to go to the bathroom, you know why this will change your life. Alright, so let's get a little bit more polish remover in our little dish here. We are slightly crooked here, aren't we? That's better. And we're going to move on to the cleanup. Glisten and Glow Top Coat. I've heard a lot of good things about Glisten and Glow Top Coat. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of other suggestions. I mean, it's a very, I don't want to say a controversial topic, but everybody has their personal favorite quick dry top coat. Another one that I really liked for a time was Nubar's Diamant. I don't even know the intended pronunciation. It was nearly as good as Sesh Vite, and it worked really well with Nubar's polishes, which don't always play well mixing with other brands. And then at some point, for some reason, they freaking changed the formulation, and it was like no longer quick dry. Like, how are you even calling this a quick dry top coat? It's so slow. And I don't know if they ever changed it back. I haven't purchased any Nubar polishes in many a year. I would still definitely recommend them. I love the ones that I have, but I can only recommend their top coat with a word of warning that it may or may not be awesome. And I'm just getting rid of some of this polish that was outside of the liquid latex on my right hand. The left hand I'll be doing on camera. And just like when you get, where are we here? Here we go. Like under the nails, and you get a little bit of polish under there, like just get it with a Q-tip. It's kind of an awkward angle, but I just go under the edges of the nail like that to clean that polish. And then it's much nicer. Even with the liquid latex, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of cleanup with water marbling because it can just get very messy. But just imagine without the liquid latex. I mean, I've done it without liquid latex a couple times intentionally, and a couple times just by being a spaz and like dipping my nails and all of a sudden realizing, crap, I have no protection. Yeah, sheet prints. Oh my god, sheet prints. This top coat will change your life. It will, though. I mean, it doesn't completely dry it instantly, but it dries it enough that you will be able to go to the bathroom without worry. And, you know, live your life and go to bed and not get sheet marks. So, where are we here? Getting a little bit closer on this camera. Once I have all my nails done, I'm going to go ahead and clean up any spots that the liquid latex didn't catch. And then I'm going to go in closely around each nail to do the final cleanup with a small brush. And like I was saying earlier, a lot of times I will say something like I just did, and it feels kind of fumbly. And most of my viewers already know what's going on. So if I listen back to it and it sounds too dumb, then I'll just, you know, not include it and put music over the top of it. but sometimes it doesn't sound as dumb as I think it sounds in the moment. And one thing I try to do on YouTube is to not assume that everyone watching all my videos is a longtime fan that knows exactly what's going on. And, you know, make a video that's easy for new viewers and old viewers to both enjoy. This is probably the second most life-changing hack, if you will, next to quick dry top coat, is cleaning up with a small brush and polish remover. Because even for yes, I'm itching my nose with my brush. Even for normal manicures, I'm just not the cleanest painter. So being able to just go in and touch everything up and get everything nice and neat is a huge help. Especially, like, I prefer a little bit of a cuticle gap, and I prefer a really nice, clean, round polish at the cuticle. So you can really get in there and carefully shape it like that. And I see that my camera battery is now flashing orange. So, even though I'm not quite done with this hand, I do want to show some of cleaning up the other hand in the tutorial. So we'll just switch over here and do a couple nails, and then probably stop recording. I was hoping to get through this without changing the battery, but I'm not sure that I will be able to do that, because once it starts flashing like almost dead, it really is almost dead. And what I really hate is thinking, oh, let me get just one more scene recorded, and then it cuts off, dead battery in the, just like that. I was about to turn it off and it just turned itself off. Get dead battery in the middle of recording a scene. That is the most frustrating thing. So once it starts blinking at me, I really do try to respect that. Yes, I mean, acetone, most regular polish removers will have a little bit of acetone in them. Then, of course, there's non-acetone remover, and I'd say that's another point of discussion, if not debate, in the nail polish community, is which is quote-unquote better for you. And I know Anna from Bliss Kiss even did a blog post about it, and what she had to say about it made a lot of sense to me, is that, you know, the acetone-free polish remover, I mean, there's still some kind of chemicals or whatever in there if it's dissolving nail polish. Hello. It may not have acetone in it, but it's got other things in it. And because it does not have acetone in it, you end up needing to use more of it over a longer time on your nails. So is just not having the acetone really better, or is using the acetone for a very short time and getting excellent results better? And especially now that I don't use as much polish remover taking my polish off because I use the peel off base, I feel like using acetone is definitely, you know, worth any trade-off that you might look at it as, because like trying to clean up with non-acetone remover feels like you're trying to clean up with water. Speed clean, yeah. All day, every day. All acetone, everything. Oh, to see Incredibles 2. That should be fun. Have fun. I don't get to movies very often, but that is one that I think I would like to see. Enjoy your evening, Starlore. I was just kind of looking at this nail where I had the little overlap of Simply Peel, and considering whether I wanted to just clean it up or do polish surgery. And again, it's another time when I'm kind of fighting against my natural urge, which is to fix it with polish surgery. But I think I'm just going to clean it up with the acetone so that the white is not quite so obviously there. Because polish surgery sometimes turns out great, and sometimes it's like, oh, you just messed it up in a different way. So I'm going to not mess it up in a different way. I'm just going to clean it up as best I can here, and so that the white isn't glaringly obvious. And you can see here too, I was a little bit sloppy on the side, and now we've got a little bit of white peeking out on the side. When you're using a white base for your marble, you really kind of have to be careful of that. Not to get too much flooding with the polish remover, and not to accidentally stroke over where you have the design, because what'll happen is the brush will just pick up that top layer of color and leave the white underneath visible, and then you'll kind of have to go back and try to get rid of the white underneath, and before you know it, you've got way wider gaps at your cuticle and or at your sidewall than you really wanted. So I'm trying to just be very mindful of that also as I go along here. And I usually, like I said, I speed through the cleaning on my channel, but I usually do really try to make sure that things are very clean before I get to top coat. Because it just, to me, it makes a surprising amount of difference in a manicure to have a nice clean cuticle and all that instead of having it be slightly messy. And then we're going to deal with bubbles, and then we're going to have a top coat, and then we will be complete of my first, on-screen, or not on-screen, on-stream tutorial. Polish surgery. Sorry, Megabutts. Basically, like, I would just get a really small brush, probably like that little one I was using last week. Is that still around? Yeah. Get a little tiny small brush like this brush here, and get out a little bit of whatever color would naturally go there in the water marble, and just add a little tiny bit of it just to cover up the white. And try to go kind of in the same general pattern as the water marble, but, you know, it's kind of impossible to get it exactly the same. It can also, with sheer or jelly colors like this, it can be difficult to get like a similar level of opacity, because obviously the water marble spreads it out real thin. It's like a very thin, even single layer of color, and sometimes painting it on, it can be difficult to get that same amount. Yeah, the cuticles do make all the difference. And some people, I mean, aren't a fan of the cuticle gap. But, I mean, I feel like as long as it's not ginormous, which it can be easy. I mean, it can be kind of like cutting your own bangs. Like, oh no, it's lopsided this way. Oh no, now it's lopsided this way. Oh no, now I have no hair. You have to be careful of that. But as long as it's of a reasonable size, I definitely prefer it. And this, I'm gonna have to be careful not to, like I said, make this too much of a correction here. There, we'll just do like that. That nail's gonna be a little bit wonky, but I don't think it's overly obvious. Okay. Now, as to the bubbles. This manicure is actually pretty good. You never quite know how you're gonna luck out with bubbles. And where are we? It's literally really hard to tell on the webcam, but these have some very small bubbles, and I'm gonna just try to get in as close as I can with my regular camera. Oops. See, now this is also another thing I will do. I will turn my camera back on and it will lie to me and say I have 3 bars of battery when I know damn well you just turned off because you claimed your battery was dead. And as soon as I would start recording, you would probably die on me. So, I'm going to take it off of there and see the, God, this camera looks so beat up. The battery port is right here, so I have to actually take this off, which is what mounts it to my ring light, to be able to get into the battery here. Then I pretty much just right away set it to recharge. Although I do have, I've had tutorials that were so long that I've had to stop in the middle because I've run out a second battery and needed to wait for the first to recharge. I actually, somewhere around here, do have 3 additional batteries in addition to these 2. But these 2 are the newest ones that I just recently bought. So they are the strongest. I'm just getting it back. Whoa. Back attached to the ring light here. And there we go. Okay. So. Oh, must be a lot of flashing lights, huh? Clever username. Yeah, there is that too, Mrs. Shrado. Like, usually 5 days is a long time for me to wear a manicure. Usually it's, I'd say 3 around average, sometimes 2 if the peel-off base coat is really giving me attitude, or maybe 4. 5 is really pushing it and is, generally speaking, unlikely to happen with a peel-off base coat. But yeah, if you're wearing your manicure longer, obviously the bigger one you start with, and then it's growing out also. Something I really have to be careful with, like, if I go out of town, I generally wear a normal manicure, or a couple. I've done that twice, or maybe just once. When I went out of town, I did a gel manicure, and I was trying to be very careful of not leaving too much of a gap for that exact reason. No warning either. I feel almost like that is or should be illegal, because, you would think they would not want to get sued by anybody that actually has, like, an epileptic reaction to the flashes. Alright, so we are going to get this recording, but I don't think I really have anything to say. We just have a few here. And basically, I'm just using the flat end of the orange stick, and I'm very, very gently pressing on the bubbles until they're flat. I just want to press out any air that's in them, and depending on where they are in the design, if you feel like you need a little side-to-side pressing in addition to just pressing down, try to just press in the same direction that the strokes are going. You don't want to, like, since this is a stroke going sideways, you don't want to try and press this flat by pushing up and down, because you may push the color out of its place in the design, if that makes sense. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but the more air you can get out, the better your result will be once you add top coat. We've got a couple real obvious ones, well, obvious to me, on the thumb here. And a couple, in fact, that one might even show up even on the webcam, here on this middle nail, in this weird green blob area that was a mistake, that I am fighting my instincts. Like, a part of me, if I were going on vacation, and I was planning on wearing this for a whole week, I honestly would probably redo this nail, because otherwise it would be bugging me all week. And then after I do as much as I can on camera, I usually will do a little bit more, just because even if I have a good view, like, some things I really want to, like, get close to my face, like closer than I can comfortably do while I'm recording. And like I said, the more air you get out of these dots, the happier you will be, because although I have had water marbles where it actually added to the design when the dots popped, you can go ahead and try and press them flat with your finger too. By this point, your manicure should be, like, the right hand is pretty much dry. I could probably gouge at this with the orange stick, but it's mostly dry. It's another reason I usually wait until after cleanup to deal with the bubbles, because you don't want to be pressing on them while the marble is still too wet. But in most cases, the popped bubbles are not going to add anything positive to the design. They're just gonna piss you off. And sometimes it's like, sometimes they're easy to avoid. Like if you see one, like I did earlier in the cup, you can definitely go ahead and pop it right in the cup. But the other part that influences them is how exactly you dip your nails, the angle, the speed, and there doesn't honestly seem to be a ton of consistency with it, so it can be hard to guess or to know what to expect, I guess I should say. And sometimes you might think you're doing the exact same thing, and you'll get one nail that's got all kinds of bubbles and another nail with no bubbles at all. And smaller bubbles are actually more of a hassle to deal with than larger bubbles. And smaller bubbles is what I'm dealing with on this particular one, unfortunately. I know this is not super interesting because you guys like can't even completely see what I'm doing, but just trust me that it is beneficial for the finished manicure. The bigger ones, it's like you usually get fewer of them, and they're easier to show on camera when I'm actually fixing them. So, still got a couple places with polish on them, but that's okay. So, we've got, hello Ninja, you are just here for what is arguably the best part, and that is the top coat. So, of course, most of you who watch my videos know exactly what I'm about to say. Finally, we'll be finishing everything off with a top coat, and as usual, I'm using Seche Vite. And I really glom the Seche Vite on there. I use a lot. And I try to wrap the sides and the tip to really help seal in that peel-off base. Ooh, we've got something. Is it a follow? I think it's a follow. Vinay has followed. Vinay wasn't already following? I know I've seen you in here before, Vinay. I guess I already assumed you were following, but thank you for the follow. And I think for this one, since both hands are different, I'm going to actually show the top coat of both hands. For some people, I know this literally is like their favorite part of the manicure. And some manicures, like they become their true selves. If that doesn't sound too completely cheesy, when the top coat is added. Like the Boiling Hot Lava Blobacure. The neons got a little bit matte, and the different colors were looking a little bit weird on the decals. And once I added the top coat, and everything just... Oh, mother! God dang it. Can you guys see this? It just, I nearly really messed up this nail. Okay, we're gonna leave it like that. That nail may require a little bit of polish surgery. Dang it! That was completely my own fault. I've still got the other bottles here off to the side, and I just knocked my nail freaking right into one of them. Oh! We'll fix it. It'll be okay. But it really, whenever I do something that I know is avoidable, like that was just, I never should have left the bottles quite that close. It's extra particularly frustrating. Because if I could just have managed to not be a klutz for literally like 2 more minutes, that would not have happened. Sesh Vite is fast. It is not quite that fast. Okay, here. Let's, and the music starts playing in your head. You mean the follower music? God, this thumb might be my favorite. This thumb or this ring finger. So, see, it doesn't even look that bad on camera. It looks way worse in person. Let me stop my regular camera. I think a little bit of orange will fix this. Boy, I'm getting, I think I've mentioned before, at a certain point in my stream, I feel my mental sharpness just, like, take a freaking nosedive. It's like, you are reaching your limit of making sense today. Alright, so I'm just adding just a literally tiny, tiny amount of orange to the tip here so that the white isn't peeking out. And I'm going to give that just a minute. Sesh Vite does dry polish, but you don't want to put it on like dripping wet polish because then you're gonna, how do I want to even describe it? Like, the polish will be moving around with the top coat. You want to kind of let it like set or dry to the touch before adding a top coat. So I'm going to let that just dry for a minute, and then I'm going to add another layer of top coat to that nail. I might actually add see, I almost did it again, but now it's dry enough to take it. I might actually add another layer to all of these, because can you see, as I move this around, you see how the bubbles are the ones that I was not quite able to get flat. They're like not smooth. So actually, yeah, I think we'll do another layer of top coat on all the nails. You've been following but accidentally unfollowed while playing around. No problem. I mean, you don't have to ask for forgiveness for that. I can totally relate to that because, like, when I first got on Twitch, I was just like, oh, what's this do? What's this do? Oh, oops. You know, I mean, there are a lot of buttons and a lot of different other little things. Like when you follow, it puts up the other little heart thing, which is basically notifications on or off. If anybody didn't know, that's what that is for. And it's on by default. So if you start following a bunch of channels, that's something to keep in mind. Usually, when I very first follow a channel, I do not turn notifications on unless it's like somebody that I already know from another platform that I'm very interested in. Because otherwise, you're just going to be getting so many notifications when you start getting a lot of channels that you follow. Real-time fixes. Sorry, but you have to go to sleep. Oh, don't be sorry. Because you said you're over in, okay, I don't remember exactly where you said, but like over in like Europe or over like across a freaking complete ocean. And you made the time to stop by and watch me, so I certainly appreciate it, and I hope you have a good night, Fluff. Oh, the music I use during manicures. Yeah, the Kevin MacLeod music. I've considered having a little bit of that going in the background while I'm streaming, because I kind of thought that I would not be able to keep up talking for a whole stream, but it seems to have been working pretty good. I feel like I've been able to maintain a pretty good, what you want to call it, patter? That's a word, right? I think when I get to the swatching, because there won't be as much to explain, I may add some music, but we'll see, because we usually, like when I've been just doing plain manicure streams, we usually seem to find something to talk about that's easy to just have a conversation about for a couple hours, which is really cool. So I'm just adding this second layer of top coat to help smooth out some of these bubbles, like I mentioned. It usually helps, and I think it is. And I'm saving this one that I did the polish surgery on until last, to just give that polish as much time as possible to set, so that I don't accidentally mess up the repair, because that's happened. And also so that I don't get wet polish, especially like when I wrap the tips. Sometimes if it's not completely dry, or if I have not waited long enough after cleaning up with acetone and that has made it a little bit wetter, end up with polish on the Sèche Vite brush, which is not ideal. Because when you do a plain manicure, you don't want to have any streaks of any other random color just showing up in there. Especially like when I wear a white manicure, it seems almost impossible. Like I get something in the brush, or there's something floating in my top coat, or there's like a cat hair that is, well, I was going to say miraculously appeared, but I guess it's really not that miraculous. This is not just my room, it's Beanie's room, and his fur is everywhere. But sometimes nail art is actually a little bit more forgiving of stuff like cat hair than a plain manicure would be. So, and I'm horrible at being neat with my Sèche Vite also, because I really like to make sure that it's going all the way to the edges, that it's really like sealing in that peel off base coat. And sometimes if I'm feeling particularly neat, I'll go back in and do another round of cleanup, but I'm more likely to just let it dry and then peel it off when I wash my hands. And Beanie is leaving us again because it's his dinner time. Alright, I think this one has had long enough to dry, so we'll just add one more layer of top coat here. Yeah. And I usually do, it's almost like a reflex now. Anytime I'm doing my top coat, or anytime I'm doing anything with different colors, it's kind of a reflex to just check the brush before I stick it back in the bottle. And if there's any residue or anything from another color on there, just wipe it off either on a napkin that I have handy or on the little dish that I keep my acetone in. You don't think I need music? I'm doing fine with running commentary. Thank you. Well, that's kind of the conclusion that I've come to, and I'm just like, am I going to be able to keep this up? I guess we'll see as we go. And of course, when I get to video games, we'll have some nice video game music too. Cats at nails. Puns are the lowest form of humor, but I kind of love them. We end up, me and SSD Ninja end up trading a lot of puns in Jerry's stream sometimes, so we are just about done here. As far as for the tutorial, let me see here. You know, I would record an intro and an outro with my hands in a similar position to this, where I tell people to subscribe to my channel if you like nail art, and, you know, all that normal kind of stuff that seems to be kind of expected, if not required, on YouTube. I try to keep my intros and outros fairly low-key and fairly short, but I'm really happy with how these turned out. This ring finger, or this middle finger, does irk me a little bit, but I think they both look great. I don't know if I could pick which one I prefer. They're equally awesome. What do you guys think? We've got a left hand or right hand. Just stick an L or R in the comments with your favorite. Yes, I nailed it. Haha. Thank you, SSD. I really don't know if I could pick. I do know as far as my favorite, it's either this ring finger or this thumb. This thumb ended up really, really pink. I also really like this little pinky. even though it's not a completely horizontal stripe. But yeah, I think I'll record the intro and outro off stream. Probably I've got a little bit more cleanup around my fingers where there's just a little bit of polish residue, and although they don't look too bad, you know, using acetone can dry out your skin. Like sometimes it'll be like a complete ring of ashiness around my cuticle. So I do usually like to just give my hands a good wash before I do the outro, so that you're really getting a good look at what the manicure is going to look like after you've, you know, washed your hands and put some lotion or some cuticle oil on. Yeah, both together is perfect. Well, and you know, it makes me, like, every time I use this collection, it's an 8-color collection, but I wonder if I could have gotten more even distribution if I'd just done, like, 6. I guess I would probably get rid of, I don't know if I'd want to get rid of the red or the pink. And then probably, I guess, the indigo or the turquoise. That's my problem. When I think about using less colors, I can't quite decide which less colors that I want. But overall, very pleased with this. Very, very happy with how things went overall, because I was kind of nervous that recording a tutorial on stream could possibly be problematic, and really it went pretty smoothly. So let's see where we are going to send all you lovely people today. Who is on that I can send you guys to be entertained? Darbian is on. I had quite fun hosting him the time that I sent you guys over there. Oh, Andy is on with the Bob Ross cosplay. Oh, and Jerry's on because Jerry's on an earlier schedule. Your left but my right, or my left but your right. Or I understand what you're saying. Hopefully you also understand what I'm saying. Left index and middle are your favorites, so these two? Yeah. Well, and I like that, you know, I didn't dip them together, but they still, I maintained a pretty even stripe consistency throughout all the nails. You know, there are none that look like, well, other than this wonky guy and this slightly wonky guy, that look like very different. I mean, obviously the colors, but yeah, I'm really pleased with this overall, and hopefully it'll be a good tutorial too. You know, a lot of times I'll have a favorite manicure and I'll upload it, and people will not like it as much as I do. Or sometimes I'll have a manicure that I kind of hate and I'll upload it and people love it. It's really unpredictable. So, I think index is pointer, not ring. I know this. See, this is why we are at the end of the stream, because things that I know are becoming things that I do not know. And I was thinking to myself that I was going to stick to hosts because the raids are a little bit harder to time. But I would really like to raid Jerry because I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet. And he really helped me out a ton with being supportive and answering questions and helping me figure out how to get my stream set up. He is very recently changing his schedule from being a late night stream to being a little bit of an earlier stream. Emily! Thank you again for the cheer. Jerry used to stream very late. He's streaming a little bit earlier now. It is Casual Saturday, and he is playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's a pretty cool game. He's a pretty cool streamer. I'm going to send you guys over there. And I'd like to say, of course, as always, thank you for watching. I hope I will see you guys next time. That there may be a midweek manicure. My nails were naked for a couple days because I didn't do a midweek stream this week. But if not, of course, next Saturday and maybe gaming next Sunday. So we'll see. Thank you all and have a great night.